We back. Yeah, are you back? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Drone stricken. Sorry. Hi, hello, hello. Is it all back to normal? Gosh. Hold on 1 second. And don't say, are you mewing, Chris? Are you mewing? No, I'm working hard. I am working the hardest that anyone has ever worked before. I am working my fingers to the bone. Okay, right, I am back. Sorry about any of that fuck up. Don't know what any of that was about. We'll have to sort that out another time. Probably wasn't the best idea to try and just get straight into a stream with it. But yeah, we're back. We're back. You can mew while working hard too, but not me. I can only do one or t'other. Sorry, I've just deleted the previous stream. I'm getting things under order. Order. Ordnung muss sein. We're back. We back. Chat needs a refresh. Okay. Refresh the chat. Thanks for that. The only reason I did it is because I wanted to make sure that the membership goal worked. This membership goal has caused me endless, never-ending pain and strife. Is the chat even going to work today? I didn't actually listen to that.
Hello, I'm alone in here. Chris, are you mewing? What's that face?
Oh, the noises were weird in that stream. I think I'll be able to fix it. Much better. Yeah. I think I'll be able to fix it. But this cursed membership goal, crazy. Yeah, sorry for the late start. I was being regaled with tales of my potential visit to Montreal soon. Wordle. Oh, I watched, by the way, because there will be questions asked, I did indeed watch a film last night. I watched Jafar Panahi's film Taxi, and it was pretty good. Wasn't the best Iranian film. I think I'm a bigger fan of Kiarostami's works, who was definitely a piece of shit. Henry, come back. Henry's gone. Henry doesn't exist to me no more. Right, we're gonna start off with a nice, cream we're gonna go for. Oh my god, I thought, you know when you see the C, clunk, let's go for that. Okay, cutie. Yeah, the far right British cartoon girl is amazing. I'm in the non-members club, bloody splitters. Kiarostami is goated. Yeah, unfortunately not personally, but yeah. It's definitely not cutie. I don't think it is. I don't think it is that, but maybe. I think it'll have to be, unless it's something like the. No, I think it definitely. No, it can't be Terra Trevor Tove because they use here. Maybe it's Cupid. Oh. It could have been Cutie would have been a good guess. Is there something? Can anyone think of a word like this that has you know, that has a consonant and then it goes into that? Qubit? Oh. Tell us your thoughts on the movie Sanjuro. Already said them, but I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. 5 stars. I think it is cubic. You're right. I think you're right. Nice. Curio. I was thinking of Curio, to be honest, but then I went for cubic. Okay. Now we're gonna move to... Oh God, we're not doing. Today is going to be a slightly more chill stream in terms of like the major news streams we've been covering recently. Qubit is an arcade minigame. It's also a minute measurement, I believe. Okay, right. Some of you are going to be like, "Oh, Chris, we can't see the one in the bottom corner." It says sheet, so deal with that. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. The membership goal, I'm incredibly grateful. Membership's obviously like a good way to support the channel if anyone wants to. Oh really, Ewan? Really, you can't see the one in the bottom corner, can you? I really feel stupid as well about one thing, because by the way, in Feb there's going to be a bit more like gaming stuff, and then there won't be any in March because I'm away for a lot of it. But in March, no, in February, I've been really stupid because I started an Elden Ring playthrough in my spare time, and it's just like I should have played Elden Ring on stream because I really enjoy it, and I've never, like, I'm so much better at Elden Ring, although I was getting so wound up on Sunday because I was fighting Renala, and it took me ages, and like 3 or 4 times I had her on one hit and just got killed because she just did an annoying run. Oh, blanket, bottle, crib. What's the other one, though? Sheet? Things babies like? Those aren't actually correct. Oh, wait, I think it's house. Crib. Cave. I don't know. I will watch the Fallout TV show, but no. How detailed were your uni modules on anti-colonial theory? Did you only cover Avatar 2009? Greg, I finished university before Avatar 2 came out, so we couldn't have covered that. Yeah, but even if that's right, mobile, crib, blanket, it can't be. It can't be because mobile, unless it's something else, crib, mobile, bottle, and then what? Because one of those was wrong. Baby thinks they're a red herring. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Nat. I mean, you might have done it. You have to learn Tekken so you can play FD Signify. I'm not learning Tekken. No. No Animal Crossing thing. I don't own my Switch anymore. I gave it to my sibling, and they spend all their time playing it. Well, she spends all her time playing Animal Crossing on it, so shout out. But they've used it way more than I ever did, so that's great. A few of us in the Discord just watched Le Chinois, but I was only one that was mildly positive of it. I do not like Le Chinois that much, but when I watched it, it was on like I watched it on a date with someone many a blue moon ago, and they didn't like it, and I didn't like it. Mobile cave suit, Batcave, Batmobile. Oh, nice one. Bat signal. That is a good one. I've never played Balatro. My friend loved it. I've never really got into it. Copy, pirate, sham. Is there another one? Wait, wow, what did you think of the politics, Chris? In Le Chinois, I don't even remember many years ago. Alika Le Bon wife, Canadian girlfriend and going on dates, you're a player. Yep, definitely am. Watching Le Chinois. I don't really remember the politics. Isn't it about, like, people who think they're Marxists? It's, like, kind of a commentary on that. And then yet they have, like, a servant girl who they just all mistreat. The song Mau Mau is good, though, but I'd have to rewatch it again. I just remember it not thinking it's... Yeah. I guess it might be lift, copy, pirate, and what was the other one? Sham? I don't know. Blanket? Blanket, sham, throw. You're right. They're things that can go on a bed. Can newspaper. tin can, cardboard box. Places you wouldn't want to live. It's college kids that get into Maoism, and one girl wants to stop schools from opening. This was 1 year before the student protests in France. I'd forgotten that was the sort of story of it. I saw it so long ago and wasn't really interested in it and spent the time talking. But yeah, it's... I mean, a lot of people are interested in Maoism. I was actually... the book I was reading was talking about how a lot of left-wing support for that kind of stuff helped to kind of cement the overthrow of the Shah, and loads of people in Western society had pictures of Khomeini, and it really upset Princess Farah. Can, bottle, cardboard box, and newspaper? Is that what you think it is? Items to recycle. Wow. Nice. Nice. Plagiarize. I've never heard crib as plagiarize. Never heard that. Obviously, the others makes sense. I'm way too hot, and my trousers are way too tight. It's not a good combination. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Yeah, Chairman Meow. Chairman Meow the cat. Okay, right, we've got some interesting things to get into. I think we should begin with this though, which is Trump talking about mental asylums again.
In my area in Queens, I grew up in Queens. We had a place called Creedmoor. Creedmoor. Did anybody know that? Creedmoor. It was a big. I said, Mom, why are those bars on the building? I used to play.
This is a shitty audio version. Hold on.
We had it in
There you go. Here's the other version I found.
my area in Queens. I grew up in Queens. We had a place called Creedmoor. Creedmoor. Did anybody know that? Creedmoor. It was a big. I said, Mom, why are those bars on the building? I used to play Little League baseball there. A place called Cunningham Park. He was quite the baseball player, you wouldn't believe. But I said to my mother, Mom, she would be there, always there for me. She said, son, you could be a professional baseball player.
I like, however, whenever he says anything positive about himself, he just all of a sudden starts becoming incredibly interested. But if it's anything about anything else, he just sounds disinterested and bored.
I said, thanks, Mom. I said, why are those bars on the windows? Big building, big, powerful building. It loomed over the park, actually. She said, well, people that are very sick are in that building. I said, boy, I used to always look at that building and I'd see this big building, big, tall building. It loomed over the park. It was sort of, now that I think, it was a pretty unfriendly sight. But I'll never forget, I don't know if it's still there, because they got rid of most of them, you know, the Democrats in New York, they took them down, and the people live on the streets now. That's why you have a lot of the people in California and other places, they live in the streets. They took the mental institutions down. They're expensive.
This is the kind of thing that, like, my parents talk about. Like, well, one of my parents, they're just like, oh, you know, there's no more psychiatric centres. And to be honest, it probably is true in the UK. I'm not so sure of the context of America, but I think a lot of them closed when it was just basically they were underfunded. Although I heard that a lot of these places were just used to kind of do experiments on people, so it's not really great. And I think that the reason that they were kept open was probably used for that. Apparently it is actually literally quite now an asylum centre, and he probably wants to turn it into a mental asylum.
But I'd say, why does that building have
Woody Guthrie went there. Woody Guthrie died there.
Those bars, boy. It wasn't normal. You know, you're used to looking at like a window. But this one, you look at it, all this steel, vicious steel, tiny windows, bars all over the place. Nobody was getting out. It's called a mental institution. That was an insane asylum.
I also really like how he keeps saying that no one knows what a mental asylum is. Like, obviously, I would say that the vast majority of people do know what a mental asylum is. They're just called psychiatric centres now, generally, and they definitely do still exist. I don't know what this sort of drive around it all is, and maybe he is just kind confused.
designated Antifa.
Sorry, I need to take off this shirt. It's way too fucking hot up here. I hate... JFK's sister got lobotomized at 1, I believe. Yeah, she didn't even die that old. She got lobotomized... Sorry, she didn't even die that long ago. She got lobotomized for cavorting with men or something. Is that the word? Like hanging around with men and having premarital sex. Yeah, you know, which in the world of Nick Fuentes is a pretty good reason to be lobotomized. He should be... wait, no. It's kind of... Yeah, actually, on a serious note, that's kind of the... resurgence of that kind of thought that should happen to women is a wonderful aspect of 2025. I'm just looking at notable people who were there. Peter Orlovsky worked there. Arthur M. Sackler. Joshua Block, a rabbi, died of a heart attack at Creedmoor while delivering Rosh Hashanah sermon as the chaplain of the New York State Department of Mental Hygiene. A pediatrician studied child psychology. Brilliant. But yeah, apparently Simone D. Amazing stuff. What did you find out about the mental asylums when you looked into them? Were they good? Were they bad? Were they easily summarizable in a small, short school report, or were they something that maybe had a certain complexity to them? But certainly an interesting one from Trump, as always. Good to see he's up to very interesting things. And I'm sure that, to be honest, if Trump is to open something like that, he'll just open them for people he doesn't like. He's going to send the Democrats there, and Asmongold's going to be the warden. By the way, you guys have probably, in recent weeks, heard me talk about Jimmy Savile, who was the UK's most famous predator. Now, a really interesting fact that probably doesn't filter down to you Americans about Jimmy Savile unless you've looked into him. Jimmy Savile being this man here, the UK's probably most famous sex offender. He really doesn't look the type, this man. Anyway, Savile, for some reason, in the 1980s, was given the keys to the UK's largest and still existing hospital for what was described as the criminally insane. I think he was actually made the governor of it by Margaret Thatcher. Let's just have a look what it actually was. Well, he was appointed by junior health minister Edwina Currie, a chair of an interim task force overseeing the management of Broadmoor Hospital. No, not Stoke Mandeville. He was the chair of Broadmoor Hospital. So if you ever hear all these people who are like, Keir Starmer got Jimmy Savile off his charges. No, Margaret Thatcher put this guy in, Margaret Thatcher's government, put this guy in power. And Margaret Thatcher loved Jimmy Savile as well. This guy had no qualifications to do this. Yes, this is the guy who was the inspiration for Jimmy in 28 Years Later. His real name was Jimmy Savile, not Sir Jimmy Crystal. But yeah, he was put in charge of a place that had like murderers. He also developed a friendship with someone called Peter Sutcliffe, who was a mass murderer, like a serial killer. This guy, Peter Sutcliffe, he murdered like 13 women, predominantly prostitutes, I think, or sex workers. But there also were people who weren't. He was so prolific and scary that you had to get a bus if you went to university in Leeds to go basically anywhere. And anyway, Jimmy Savile, whilst the head of Broadmoor, sparked up a relationship with this guy. There are photos of them together. I think there's a photo of them together. But yeah, very, very, very crazy story. And I've seen ECT on people's medical histories. People even as young as 50. It's also an alarmingly recent practice. Is ECT electroshock therapy? Electroconvulse therapy. Crazy that was a thing. Sound like such a line troll, lol. He talks so slow, he can make it think a made-up story. Are you talking about me or Trump? Belfast, the royals, and everyone around them are involved. Jimmy Savile wrote speeches for... Jimmy Savile wrote King Charles's speeches at a certain point. So, like, yeah, they were very good friends. But, yeah, that's a little fact for you. Anyway, I have another insane story, which you've probably seen other people covered, because it's been out for a few days. Listen to this.
Police have taken a young Meadowbank woman to court, alleging she left an anti-Semitic voice message for a well-known nutritionist just days after the Bondi attack. But the accused's lawyer says it was an accidental pocket dial, and the charges are a massive overreach.
What police allege was an anti-Semitic threat, the defence says was anything but.
This seems to be a case of charge burst and answer questions later.
Serena Tanuri charged with harassing Mandy Sacker, a nutritionist of Jewish faith she'd never met but seen on TV and social media. The alleged offending contained in a voicemail 1 week after the Bondi massacre.
All of the circumstances of this case point in one direction. It is an accidental call.
Serena.
It is actually insane that this went to court. This is genuinely unbelievable. But the climate in Western countries like Australia, like the UK and all of these places, and the power of the Israeli lobby is just unbelievable. That there will be lawyers backing this up who are probably, you know, part of groups that lobby for the Israeli government.
His lawyer noting his client, who works at Bunnings, has a severe intellectual and cognitive disability supported by the NDIS.
She's not anti-Semitic. She doesn't even understand the conflict.
It's alleged Serena sent a text to Mandy, writing, "Hey, how are you? Is this Mandy? I saw somewhere that you helped Katie from Married at First Sight with her nutrition. I was wondering if you could help me as well, Serena." Around 5 hours later, a call from Serena's number went to Mandy's voicemail.
I can't believe that in any way this was ever taken seriously. It is genuinely a shocking story.
Voices were heard on the recording, but Mandy claims she heard sounds she believed were gunshots, causing her immediate fear and nervousness.
It could be a bed creaking. It could be someone snoring.
The 26-year-old, who has also been hit with an AVO, pleaded.
I feel like if anyone did that to me, even amongst me being threatened, I'd call them back, and if they didn't pick up, they didn't answer, or they just kind of persisted with it, then maybe I'd go to the police. But, you know, it's kind of insane that this is a real thing.
Not guilty today.
Also, like, in the UK, if you go to the police and tell them that someone's, like, been launching really violent threats against you, they don't do anything. They don't even follow it up. They don't give a shit. Like, I remember I'm in a group chat with some other TikTokers who were talking about this, and they were like, I'm going to go to the police. And I was like, you can if you want, and maybe it's good to have it on record, but they aren't going to do anything. Because there was this person who kept threatening me, and they were sending me, like, really graphic messages. And so I was like, right, I should probably inform some of this, because, you know, people have threatened to harm me and stuff, but, like, not into that level of detail, and the police just ignored me.
The case is listed for next month, when a decision will be made on whether the charge is dropped or if the matter goes to a hearing.
And you were very shocked to hear you've been charged from police?
Especially, like, with my mental health. Just wish people could understand.
Hayley Francis, 9 News.
What's her name? I just want to see if there's any follow-up to the story. Serena Tanuri. It is actually, like, unbelievable. Are there any new reports over this? Are there any updated reports? Are there any reports? How tolerant Australia became a hotbed of anti-Semitism. Okay, this one doesn't even mention it. She's been charged over it. I don't even know how this can have gone anywhere. It's also crazy that this has been treated with any seriousness. Another day, no Algeria mention. Yeah, unfortunately, there's been other things that I haven't had a chance to look into. I haven't had a chance to look into. Just wanted nutrition advice. She was served a court order. This is more America than Australia. I mean, it's also just quite UK coded right now. Like, look at Ghassan Abu Sitta. Ghassan Abu Sitta is a doctor who's been to Gaza multiple times. He's actually, by the way, an eyewitness and someone who 100% believes that Israel struck the Al Ahli Baptist Hospital with some kind of missile. He is someone who maintains that. He is someone who forensic architecture worked with and spoke to. But over and over again, he has been targeted by UK lawyers for Israel because in an article he had written about the martyrdom of Ahmed Nasser Jarrah, who was believed to be a member of Hamas, saying, "The people have no weapon left but revolutionary violence." Great, but considered in the article in its entirety, which expressed views critical of political elites in Palestine. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You will be like, this guy obviously said more things. He didn't say anything that is like the story coming out of Australia is way more insane in the sense of just a pocket dial. But it's more just this legal thing of like all these right wingers who pretend you go to prison for like dropping crisps on the floor and being white in the UK would never touch this story or any of these stories because they actually say something about, hey, this is pretty uncomfortable, how you're not allowed to criticize Israel, and there's so much limitation of speech around Israel where you're not being, excuse me, where you're not getting in trouble for inciting violence, but rather literally just for criticizing a genocidal apartheid state. It is utterly ridiculous. Look up Raquel Pacheco.
After police showed up at her door. They had questions for former political candidate Raquel Pacheco. They were asking about a Facebook post that she made criticizing Miami Beach's mayor. CBS News Miami's Abby Dodge is your reporter in Miami Beach tonight. Abby, what was in this post that prompted officers to show up and knock on her door like that?
Well, Raquel Pacheco wrote a critical comment about the mayor after he posted a photo saying that the city was welcoming to everyone. She didn't expect then that her comment would lead to a police investigation.
Am I being charged with the crime? Okay, so you're here to investigate.
CBS pre Barry Weiss takeover, the glory days.
A statement that I allegedly made on Facebook.
Raquel Pacheco.
Do you guys think in the future Israel will make it so that history books and like general consensus will claim Israel committed no genocide? I mean, already they've been doing that. I don't think it will be Israel who will necessarily be the only one who tries to work towards that. I think Western governments who are massively complicit in it will be incredibly interested in maintaining that same narrative because obviously they're criminally culpable if it is the case, right? Like they're responsible for all of this. However, I think the main problem is that largely in academic circles and the vast majority of people who write serious books about topics will continue to maintain the narrative that Israel committed genocide because Israel committed genocide. And I think, unfortunately, they're only continually going to be proven correct.
A former candidate for Miami Beach City Commission and Florida Senate started recording when officers showed up at her door Monday. She says she's still emotionally distraught about what happened next.
My overwhelming feeling was that freedom of speech as I know it died at my front step yesterday. And that was just such an incredibly sad. It still makes me sad. It's an incredibly sad thing.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present.
Officers then read Pacheco's Facebook comment. She says in part, the guy who consistently calls for the death of Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community.
seeing this comment, she deserves a life imprisonment. She needs to go to prison for criticizing the state of Israel and mentioning the LGBTQ plus community to illegal things in Trump's America.
In any way. Officers then explained why.
I will be divesting, though, from my Miami coin. Crypto. My Miami coin is not doing well, by the way, guys. I have a considerable amount of Miami crypto coin. 10 Great British pounds on crypto.com buys you 82,000 Miami coin. I'm a Miami coin millionaire, and I bought at the high.
They came to her door.
We're just trying to prevent somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Anyone who reads that statement, I don't know how you can take that as an incitement to violence of any type.
I called the mayor's communications staff multiple times and stopped by City Hall. The mayor's office did not provide anyone to speak with me and said the mayor was not in the building. Pacheco has hired a lawyer, and together they made public...
What was that shot? Why did they do that shot? Why did they not do a shot of her, like, knocking on the door? Why did they just show her walk up to the building?
Information requests. She says she wants...
Barry Weiss needed to take over CBS to stop the waste on that kind of stuff.
To know what led up to the officers at her door.
Miami is the Tel Aviv of the Middle East.
We're traveling down a very, very slippery road here, and my goal here is not just to make it stop for me, obviously, but it's for everyone, because...
It's really funny as well, because this kind of stuff was happening under Biden, right? Like, and it is happening under liberal Western governments across Europe as well, not just the far right. They've been laying the groundwork for just an authoritarian crackdown so that they can continue to odiously cling to Israel, a state which is undeniably unpopular amongst their base. And it's not just happening in one country, it's happening across all of Israel's allies, so they don't even have to take any basic states. And once again, why I am so opposed to the two-state solution, because the two-state solution is literally right now just a buzzword being erased in front of our eyes. Whilst any, like, meaningful manifestation of the two-state solution is erased in front of our eyes, which, by the way, I don't think it ever would have offered the justice that Palestinians need, but also, you know, for a time, Palestinians did want it, especially the PLO and kind of the leadership of the PLO. But anyway, whilst the two-state solution is erased, they tell us, no, we need to work with Israel, the people erasing the two-state solution, who allow religious extremists to roam around and drive Palestinians out of their land on the basis of, well, you know, they're not deserving of it. And yeah.
Think about this. I'm a vocal person. I'm a loud person. I'm a well-known person in this town. If they can do that to me, and I'm a veteran, if they can do that to me, imagine what they can do.
She's a veteran. Brilliant.
To people that don't have a voice and don't have a presence and visibility.
In just minutes before our newscast, we did end up hearing from the mayor's office through a statement. They called this interaction a police matter. We also recently heard back from the Miami Beach Police Department about the...
I love how also rightoids are like, everyone's getting arrested for free speech on social media. And they just don't care about any of this.
Investigative unit officers who did show up to Pacheco's house, they said in a statement, and I'm going to read it for you now, that the Miami Beach Police Department was made aware of a social post containing potentially inflammatory commentary referencing a Miami Beach elected official. In light of recent national concerns regarding anti-Semitism and out of an abundance of caution, the department assessed the post for any potential safety implications. They did say that detectives found no immediate threat. Live from Miami Beach, Abby Dodge, CBS News, Miami.
Like, yeah, I mean, also, this isn't even just a post-October the 7th thing. Pro-Israel group objected to displays, saying it made Jewish patients feel vulnerable. You'll never guess what it's about. Oh, it's about a London hospital taking down artwork by Gaza school children after complaint. Here's the artwork that made that made Israelis uncomfortable. This is why, like, it's not serious. And, like, all of these people like Hen Mazik, who are like, my life is under threat. I'm loving Israel and the Palestinians. I'm thinking of new ways to live life. It's why it's such a joke. It's not serious. It's just a completely and utterly pathetic. And all of the Democrats who purport to be different on this and better just have done the same thing. Have enabled all of these crackdowns. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Hold on, there was an incredible story. A Jewish parents phone MP being sick. Here we go. This is it. Read this. So I actually met a young lady who liked my content, who was going to go to university. She was there for the open day. She told me a similar story. She said at her secondary school she'd organised a bake sale and she'd put Palestinian flags in her cakes, and she was told that she wasn't allowed to do it. But yeah, a government department cancelled a charity bake sale for Palestine. Listen to this. Where is it? Navarra Media understands that officials noted that Jewish staff members had expressed concerns and even anxiety about the PCS's position on Palestine. Wait, let me see if I can find this. Let me see. Oh, where is this? There was like statements about them feeling sick. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It was to raise money for medical aid for Palestine as well, by the way. The letter adds that the implication that the bake sale could cause distress to Jewish colleagues was anti-Semitic. I just want to see if I can find the actual specific bit about them, it being cancelled because it made people be sick. But yeah, incredible things are happening across Western society to protect our favourite apartheid genocide state. And don't you dare criticise it. Right, okay, so let's get into some other stuff. Oh, wait. Okay, right. Oh, no, wait, there's one final thing I wanted to watch, which is Anderson Cooper and the Democrat media telling lies.
It's clear that the president and his family have been profiting hugely during Mr. Trump's first year in office. But today, the New York Times editorial board published an estimate of just how much they've raked in over the past 12 months. By their accounting, it's at least $1.4 billion. Now, that includes income from...
By the way, this is just completely and utterly incredible that Trump has raked in this much money. They are running like a full-on mafia state where you can buy pardons, you can buy to be on the board of the Gaza Peace Commission and all of this kind of stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. And also, just to know, I don't think I'm going to go fully into this when we talk about Davos. So Gavin Newsom has been calling this speech boring. I just want you to listen to Trump's Davos speech, this small segment.
Really importantly, we're cracking down on more than $19 billion in fraud that was stolen by Somalian bandits. Can you believe that they turned out to be higher IQ than we thought?
To have a president appear at, Davos, which, by the way, is like, Davos is just a meeting of business elites. Like, the far right framed it, or like the right wing in the UK framed it as like globalist meetup. Now they worship the same business elites who back up Trump. They don't obviously give a shit about how bad this is in many ways. But yeah, Trump is just on like this major platform just going, oh, Somalians are low IQ.
I always say these are low IQ people. How did they go into Minnesota and steal all that money?
I mean, Trump, maybe you shouldn't be talking like this because you are very low IQ and you've stolen huge amounts of money alongside your family.
And we have, you know, they're pirates, they're good pirates, right? But we shoot them out of the water just like we shoot the drug boats out. They're not pirating too many boats lately, do you notice?
I can't believe this. Their conduct at Davos was unbelievable.
From licensing Trump's name, overseas real estate projects, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars from investments in cryptocurrencies, the money that Amazon paid Melania Trump, the family, for a documentary about Melania Trump. The New York Times investigative reporter Russ Buettner is here. It is staggering, a figure.
Oh, and by the way, someone noted that not only is Keir Starmer sucking up to him, you noted it. Starmer sucks up to him and does nothing. The man who'll replace Starmer just wants to totally imitate Donald Trump. It's so amazing that that Starmer and those around him can't even tell him, hey, just take a strong stance on this stuff. Like, speak out against how Trump is conducting himself, because then you'll end up boosting yourself like Stalin, like Carney is able to. Carney is clearly getting a boost off asserting Canadian independence, no matter how untrue that is, and acting as if Canada is really different from Trump. It's working, it's popular. Why this cannot be done by Starmer is beyond me. But just look at this. This is the money that Nigel Farage is bringing in that he didn't even declare. Baron App, so from Cameo, he got 17 grand. Direct Bullion, a gold sponsorship company, £91,000. GB News, 43,000, 51,000, 36,000, 26,000, 35,000. How is that normal, by the way, for a British MP to just be appearing on a news channel where they can basically spread their disgusting propaganda and be paid over £100,000 for the privilege of doing so? George Cottrell, I don't even know who that is. Google paid him all of this money. I don't know why Google paid him that. Maybe it's ad revenue. Imperial Media, 6,500, multiple payments of it, and then a £12,000 payment. News Pty, and then he got paid £1,200 from X. I don't know if that's X, the everything app. But this kind of corruption is
utterly ridiculous.
This kind of corruption already exists in the UK, don't get me wrong. But this kind of corruption already exists in the UK, but it'll only get worse. Also, sorry, I need to say that I'm live. Hello, everyone. I am live on YouTube right now, so come say hi. Once again, if you're on Instagram, link here. If you're on TikTok, I need to redo that. Hello, everyone. I am live right now on YouTube. I am covering the madness at Davos, the British far-right's new anime waifu, the government's de-radicalization game, and also livestream fails strange mod. So if you're interested in any of that and you're on Instagram, click the link here. If you're seeing this on TikTok, get in my damn bio. Did you see that? Also, some of you mentioned that, like, Trump's sort of, like, Trump's base are, like, all stupid. Yeah, there are many stupid people who support the Democrats as well. Unfortunately, the base of most political parties is going to incorporate stupid people, and I don't know that looking down on people is really the way forward. It's kind of like that basket of deplorables quote by Hillary Clinton. You need to be something that is building like a wide and broad movement. You need to draw lines around certain things, like such as, you know, not just welcoming any racist, any bigot that you can get your hands on. But yeah, also, I am going to bolster my story by posting a photo of me in the gym. So if anyone's interested in that, go and have a look. A photo in the gym from yesterday. Hold on. It's, by the way, if anyone's wondering why it's a smart idea to do this, I've mentioned it before. Hassan always posts gym content because it boosts your story, because people like it and view it. And also, I do look jacked at the moment. I'm a bit bulky, but it's winter, so I can get away with it. I'm live on YouTube right now. Hop in. Shameless gym selfie for promo. Hold on. Wait. 1 second. Sorry, I need to redo that. 1 second. Oh, goodness me. I'm live on YouTube right now. I'm gonna get in. Hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry, this has taken ages. I'm going to post the link twice. That's how committed I am. Sorry, this is a little boring. I guess this kind of happens, though.
Nearly 1.4 billion. I mean, it's closer to 1.5 billion. It's incredible. Did it surprise?
This is already the woke Democrat media. That is not closer to 1.5 billion. As you can see, it's 1.408 billion when I move my camera. Henry would not like that I just did that, but fuck him. 1.408 billion. That's still an insane amount of money. Just to personally enrich you and your family. Woof!
Surprise you?
It's absolutely shocking. I think it's been shocking every month. I mean, I studied Donald Trump's finances, including obtaining his tax returns with some colleagues, for over a 20-year period. And this amount is really greater than the sum total of everything he made from his inheritance, from being on The Apprentice, and from all the licensing deals while he was on The Apprentice.
It's more than he ever made in his whole life.
I think it's those things were his big profit centers because his business performance was uneven. Right. So those three things that require really his golden days. This is more than that, all in 1 year.
And
don't blame the clown if a government turns into a circus. Maybe it's the venue. Oh shit! I didn't even see. How did I not see that? Thanks for the donation, Thomas. Yeah, I mean, I think it is just. I also think like I'll kind of touch on it a bit later. Like I'm gonna touch on the story like a bit later about how like people are like, oh my god, you're seeing all of these people talking about the dismantlement of the mainstream, like the order, like the order of the world and such, and all of this stuff, right? Like yeah, it's definitely true, 100% true. But simultaneously, they all built this world with their behavior over Gaza, with all of their behavior, their unwillingness to make meaningful and significant change. And yeah, I've been training hard at the gym. I haven't really missed going 4 times a week in a long time.
This is just the first year. It seems like there's no reason why. I mean, they're open for business.
They're open for business, and they've been expanding things on a regular basis, especially into cryptocurrencies. They recently just transformed their social media company into a Bitcoin repository company, which is a cryptocurrency, and now they're moving that into some sort of power generation company. But they are just rapidly trying to gather every sort of business that they.
Also, the concept of like all of the stuff that they're getting up to. All of this, the concept of Truth Social is insane to me. There was a great Truanon once again about Truth Social this week. Really mental as like an institution.
To monetize this period.
The brazenness of it is remarkable. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Donald Trump Jr., I don't think the club that Donald Trump Jr. set up in Washington, which is like a private members club, which essentially kind of promises access for paying members of the club to government officials and cabinet secretaries.
That's right.
That wasn't part of this.
That's not part of this, no. And that really seems kind of quaint compared to what they're doing in cryptocurrencies, where it looks like over the last year they've personally pocketed the family and a few partners somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 million or more. That's unheard of wealth for that.
And there's link.
By the way, a lot of that is to do with pardons as well.
A lot of linkage between the businesses and places the U.S. is actually involved in doing, U.S. foreign policy and, U.S. interests.
Yeah, a lot of this money comes, the cryptocurrency money comes to them anonymously. We don't know, the public can't figure out who it is. Most of it comes from overseas entities. You can tell that from the exchanges it goes through. And a lot of it, it
is also, cryptocurrency is finally meeting what it is actually needed for. Financial crimes. It is serving its purpose.
You said comes from countries where they have a real interest in it. There's been some direct conflicts, especially with a big deal that came through the United Arab Emirates. They decided to use a Trump cryptocurrency to pay for a $2 billion investment.
Right, which is very few people would have chosen to use that particular cryptocurrency.
It was brand new and struggling and unproven. And they did that. That will put about $80 to $100 million a year in the pockets of the Trumps. And within a few months, within a few weeks actually, Trump decided to overturn a policy that had long rejected the UAE's pleas to get AI computer chips from us because they were thought to be too close to China. He just did away with that and then pardoned.
Give China the damn AI chips.
The fellow who was on the other end of the deal. So there's like two conflicts in one deal.
It's remarkable. Russ Buettner, it's in the Times today. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
But yeah, incredible. Incredible. Okay, right. So I want to talk to you about something that has definitely piqued my interest with what's going on in the UK right now. So I saw this video a few days ago, and I wasn't really sure what this was, but I'll show you it for a second.
Tonks? No, I'm Amelia. We need to talk about Islam in the UK. Catholic, Protestant, atheist. We're all buggered if Islam takes over. Witches must be burnt, of course, but honour killing your daughters for not wearing hijab is much too far.
I love how people, are intrigued by this, that they think that this is, great content, and, some normal or awesome thing. But this video was certainly the beginning of my... Oh, fuck. This video was certainly the beginning of what piqued my interest in all of this. It's this character, Amelia, who is a scantily clad emo waifu who appears in these epic videos about reversion to Christian traditions, edited into British sort of comedies and cultural institution-ish kind of stuff.
But Wallace, dogs are haram. If the Muslims take over, Gromit is a goner.
That's my favourite one. Wallace and Gromit will be a goner if the Muslims take over. The Muslims are going to take Gromit away from you.
Pigs are haram too, Peppa. Your entire family line ended.
Peppa Pig will be gone because the Muslims have declared the pig to be haram.
And forget LGBT acceptance. Muslims will...
This is Ncuti Gatwa and David Tennant, who are former Doctor Who's, or I don't know if they're current, if Ncuti Gatwa is current, but... Yeah, he's from Sex Education, and they're being told that the LGBTQ will be thrown out the roof.
Toss them out the window, literally. First, we remove the Islamists from our government and our country, Paddington. Then marmalade.
So it comes from this account, Basil the Great, which I would really love to know who is running this. He has a picture of a mouse in a trench coat on London Bridge made by AI. And he's having a meltdown over the World Economic Forum. And it's just a grifter account. I mean, the right-wing grift going on right now is reaching unprecedented levels. It's truly amazing. I'll carry on with this Amelia story in a second, but I'm sure some of you saw this. Muslim in Switzerland.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Muslim in Switzerland destroys outdoor chessboard as it's considered haram. Offended by everything, ashamed of nothing. Deport this pleb back to the 7th century. Now, it's quite contradictory because obviously these people actually want a reversion to Christian traditions. Cast nominated, Cast being the Chilean far-right guy whose dad was a collaborator with the Nazis, right? Nominated Judith Marin as Minister of Women's Affairs, a woman who previously had someone undergo an exorcism for not practicing celibacy. What? Judith Marin. What? Thanks for the 5,500, Thomas. Judith Marin. Exorcism. Is that true? Okay, I can't see much about this, but it says that she's an extremist anti-abortion figure. I don't doubt that that's possibly true. But yeah, purple hair, woke character. It's sick! This guy's not a Muslim. And by the way, chess is certainly not considered haram by all Muslims. I did look into this because I was a bit interested. Apparently the damn Ayatollah Khomeini banned it. But they all ban it on the basis of the claim that it's to do with betting and gambling much more than actual chess itself these days. Some people are like, oh, it can be a distraction from Islam. But yeah, it's apparently banned because of gambling. And I just said, it's amazing to think that both the UAE and Israel pay this man to do propaganda, and this is still the type of crap he produces. Like, honestly, it is truly amazing that you can get the bag for doing grifting like this. But yeah, back to this Amelia character. So, they've been inserting Amelia into other things. Here's another one.
Has been the setting of many... Our country has been the setting of many stories of common men standing up to a tyrannical government. Have you ever wondered if you would stand up too? Or would you stay silent? Or even take the oppressor's side?
It's so crazy that some, like, weird guy who hides behind a mouse profile picture because he's too scared to actually show his face, doesn't produce anything original, and just spams out crap on the internet to grift money out of other stupid people who will believe literally anything they're told about Muslims. It thinks that this person is leading a revolution.
Well, what are you doing now? Because, well, there's your answer right there.
Also, in the film V for Vendetta, right, there's literally a bit where Stephen Fry is killed for hiding a Quran.
I don't mean Yankee wankers protesting law enforcement deporting illegal immigrant tax frauds.
It's also really unusual because why have you got Trump and Captain America here?
Immigrant tax frauds. I mean, our British government ignoring child grooming, whether by trannies or South Asians, but arresting teachers over pronouns. I suppose my question...
It's also really funny that quite often, like, I mean, obviously the slurs are offensive and stuff, but quite often it doesn't use the, it can't speak properly.
To you, Englishman, is, do you want your country more than Imam Mohammed just arrived to Birmingham does?
Like, the intonation doesn't even sound correct. Like, listen to that. It doesn't sound human at all.
Mohammed just arrived to Birmingham.
Do you want your country more than Imam Mohammed just arrived to Birmingham?
Does.
But yeah, Basil the Great thinks that Amelia will lead the revolution. It is utterly ridiculous. Gromit, England prevails, V for Vendetta, comic book reference. Yeah, I mean, thanks for the 5,500 again, Thomas. This is literally just like blended odd cultural references that people have no basic understanding of. That people have no understanding of what the meaning of all of it is about, because, like, Braveheart is about, like, Scotland rejecting tyrannical British rule, right? What do these people want? Like, what do they want? What do they believe in? Do they believe in British history and our imperial right to conquer all of the territories near us? Or do they believe that Braveheart should be free? Now, I was wondering, I thought this Amelia woman was something else significant. By the way, do not search Amelia on X, because if you do, it's going to come up with lots of insane stuff. There is also a lot of stuff here to do with just people making responses of Amelia in, like, pornographic situations. It's really horrible. It's all round really horrible. I mean, this one... Grok is apparently the one making them, which doesn't surprise me.
Note, I don't hate
This, I don't even know if I want to play this one, but I'll just show you a short clip before it goes insane.
Hi, I'm Amelia. I'm English, and I love England. I like having fish and chips and a pint at the local pub.
It's also really, really just confused references of, like, what does it mean to be British? Have fish and chips at the pub with a pint?
I like Shakespeare and Dickens, Tolkien and Lewis, Harry Potter.
I like also how the Grok is so shit that it obviously lists off a multitude of different authors and then kind of just goes Harry Potter. Harry Potter is obviously not the author of the book. But Grok does actually seem to think that Harry Potter, although here it thinks someone called Harry Potter has written Harry Potter.
Tolkien and Lewis, ridiculous. Harry Potter.
RP accents don't sound very goth or punk rock. Well, Amelia is goth and punk rock, certainly. But thanks again, Thomas.
I like pork sausage and dogs and fashion.
Haram! Haram!
These are like the level of racist propaganda going on in this. This is literally just how they portray Jews in German propaganda. And this is a thing that there is a considerable audience for on X that you are allowed to just generate with Grok.
But I don't like that. Don't like that.
Sorry,
But I don't like
that.
Like that. Brits are famously polite, but it mustn't mean we're willing to commit cultural suicide. Our institutions, the Church of England, the BBC, are a bunch of queers and nonces.
Jesus Christ, like seriously, this is just unbelievable. I also love how they were like, in one of the previous ones, it was like, David Tennant, gay people will be, gay people will be harmed by Muslims. And then it's like, the BBC are gay and that's bad.
How the bloody hell did we go from Churchill to you git? Sadiq Khan, the mayor? This is London, mate, not Afghanistan. Or Star Wars.
I don't know why she said Star Wars. Right, I'm pretty sure there's a slur here.
Our government won't even protect our schoolgirls from grooming gangs. Sod off, packy wankers.
Like, that is just a proper early 2000s slur. I apologise for that.
The police won't help. They're too busy confiscating
I do like how the police officer is portrayed as a lard ass.
garden tools and suppressing free speech.
That's right, miss. What have I done, officer? You've tweeted rudely, and you're under arrest.
Curry is fine, but we have several recipes already. We don't need 2 million Indians here to make it for us. There are 50 Islamic nations in the world. Muslims don't need to be on our island.
Like, so, by the way, this guy Huff, who is the one generating them, is like, oh, am I not allowed to do this? No, you are just generating straight up extreme racism.
They want to conquer it. The government says it must be this way. That doesn't make it right, does it, Robin Hood? These dragons that threaten our England won't go away unless brave knights rise up to slay them. Or did all...
Once again, we literally have a media institution, a media organization like GB News and many others that just prop up all of this stuff. And yes, it is very uncomfortable. This stuff is certainly weird, and I'll explain its origin shortly.
The British bloodlines with any bollocks get killed off in World Wars 1 and 2.
World Wars 1 and 2.
Englishmen! It's your country, and it's being taken from you. Chav? Posh? Doesn't matter. We're already all in this together. I don't want this to be the future of the women of England, and I'm sure the women of Iran and Afghanistan didn't want it either. Your ancestors beat the Spanish Armada, Napoleon, and the Nazis. Surely you can
I also love how, like, in the other stuff, they really are like, oh, we should be benevolent to America. But part of the reason that we're no longer the country that beats the Spanish Armada, that does all of this kind of thing in X, Y, and Z is because we are benevolent to America. You would know that, right?
Handle welfare tourists. History will record what you do or don't do. Get cracking, lads. Love, Amelia.
Okay, so now you're kind of familiar with who Amelia is and kind of how she's just incredibly racist. I am going to show you the origins. And I also, part of me is just like, okay, right. Where this has come from is insane. So in the UK, there's this thing called Prevent, which if you want to be a teacher, if you want to do anything in related to education, you have to sign up and say you're going to report people to it. It is largely an organization that has targeted Muslims throughout its history, that has targeted speech around Palestine, and no doubt is currently being used to discipline people around...
It is utterly ridiculous.
...around Palestine and such, but... It remains to be... I just want to show you the game. So here is Amelia in her OG iteration. She's hidden behind the chat right now. This is what Amelia once upon a time looked like. These people are genuinely sad bedroom-dwelling weirdos who imagine that an AI woman is their girlfriend. This AI woman, Amelia, is like gonna come and do racism with them. I am in love with her. Why was that deleted? She would have joined the Jerrys, though. Isn't it the Legion of St. George Reds? She would definitely have joined the Germans, yes. Is she supposed to be based on Emma McKay? I don't know. But we're going to actually play the game. Look, so this is a game made by East Riding, Hull City Council, and whatever SOUK is. Welcome to Pathways, an interactive game where you determine your journey. In this game, you will have to choose between certain options that can lead to different outcomes. Let's see where the path takes you. Guys, you wanted the gaming stream?
In this game, you will be presented with scenarios that require you to take action, like hearing something hateful while gaming, or watching a provocative video on social media. From the 3 alternative options presented, you will use your mouse to select one based on the information given and what outcome.
Okay, right. Okay, so we're gonna play as a man here. You guys are gonna choose my options.
Charlie was enjoying an online game with friends.
I too enjoy online games with friends, particularly Minecraft, although this actually looks like Minecraft story mode, and there are no health bars in Minecraft, so already a bad cultural reference.
Charlie had not long started attending a new college in East Riding, and they were so relieved to have made new friends having recently left school.
Look, it obviously taps on a problematic story, but like as someone who was at school, you know, not all that long ago, I know how people would have felt about this. They would have thought that it was a big joke. But the fact that there are now, like, these big Twitter accounts who, like, tap into that and are like, actually, Amelia will be your girlfriend and be racist to Muslims with you is, put frankly, quite insane.
Charlie has started browsing new games.
It might be Charlie Kirk. It might be Charlie Kirk.
And websites that some of the new friends use.
Okay.
Sometimes, though, the people on these websites say things that seem off.
Okay, so if you're wondering what they're saying, they're sort of just saying emojis and someone has sworn at the bottom. This is often how I feel about the Chris K Discord. Some of you say things that are rude and make me uncomfortable.
Someone on this website has encouraged Charlie to download a video, but Charlie is unsure.
Okay.
How should Charlie react?
Okay, how should Charlie react? I mean, I want to give you a choice, but how should Charlie... No, you know what? We're downloading the video. Charlie's downloading the video. Okay, I thought his eyes might change. This is certainly one of the best games I've played in recent years, and I am a big fan of Amelia. I'm liking where this is going so far. But yeah, should I tell a trusted adult, talk to the stranger? No, I'm downloading the video.
Charlie wanted to continue being part.
And it seems that because I've downloaded the video, I am now in the red zone. It's not good. I just wanted to play Minecraft story mode.
Part of their new online community.
Nice, I'm part of an online community.
Charlie downloaded the video and shared it with different people online.
What's the video?
Charlie felt relieved and happy that people were liking the video and also sharing it. Deep down, Charlie wasn't sure if this was the right thing to do, as some of the ideas in the video were extreme and violent.
They didn't tell me what was in the video.
It's important to remember that downloading or streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offence conviction.
It's basic, like, Prevent is not a good institution, by the way. It's outmoded and broken. And, like, how is it ever going to deal with fucking Basil the Great sharing AI videos about Amelia becoming your girlfriend? Downloaded the video. Okay, we're on to scenario 2 now.
Charlie is receiving an important grade on a piece of work they submitted for their hospitality course at college.
Okay, nice. I often am receiving important grades to do with my hospitality work.
Charlie put in a lot of effort for this work and is excited to receive good feedback.
Nice, nice. Good for Charlie. Hang on a second. Already we're seeing the wokeness coming in. That's Mao's star. That's the communist China coming in. East Riding Council have capitulated to the commies.
Charlie put in a lot of effort for this work, and Charlie takes a seat in class and waits to get their grade.
Here is Amelia's first appearance. This is a really, really major moment.
To their disappointment, Charlie doesn't do as well as they expect. They got 60 out of 100 for their work, but they
Fucking Charlie, so stupid, man. Should have revised.
wanted at least 75 out of 100.
Okay, Charlie's not in a good situation. I'm feeling his anger.
To make matters worse, somebody else got 80 out of 100,
80.
and the teacher said that this person has received a job offer.
Okay, the person's got a job offer. The teacher shouldn't be talking about that, but that's communist China for you.
Charlie has applied to dozens of jobs, but hasn't had any luck yet.
I feel sorry for Charlie.
Somebody else in the class tells Charlie that this is proof that immigrants are coming to the UK and
This is why they love this Amelia girl.
taking our jobs.
Okay, so we have options. Ignore the comment and ask the course leader for feedback about how you can improve. Definitely not doing that. Ignore the comment, but don't address your frustration. Agree with the comment and explore the idea further. Yep, we are agreeing with that comment and we are exploring the idea further.
Charlie approached the classmate angrily. He agreed with the ideas and began shouting about
Amelia is devious. This guy up here who kind of has the same glasses as me is very upset.
them in class.
Charlie, to be fair, this is also a bad game because it's not really taken into account. Charlie's hairline looks crazy. He might be hiding it with a bit of long hair, but Charlie's got a crazy hairline. This might actually be Charlie Kirk.
The teacher let Charlie know that the school has a zero tolerance on hate speech.
Woke bollocks.
The teacher was concerned by Charlie's outburst.
I also love how this is genuinely framed as like something that is going to have to that is going to be able to deal with, you know, rising extremism, rising like right-wing politics in the UK. Like, bro, things are so far beyond this point. You know that, right? And the things that like it's like, oh, you should just talk to someone about you not having a job. No, there are other major problems, and obviously you shouldn't be blaming immigrants, but like, hey, let's maybe address the lack of jobs and young men feeling like they're dead-ended and the failure of our society to, like, offer anyone anything meaningful.
And tried to get to the bottom of it.
Like, it's so obvious society around us has degraded. But yeah, the woke mind virus, the woke school has ruined me.
Charlie became more agitated and ended up having to sit alone for the duration of the week's lessons because of the hurtful things they said.
Charlie
has been chilling out all afternoon.
Nice, I like that.
They've been scrolling on social media.
You guys noticed the they, and I was like, nah. Why is Charlie a they? This is woke.
They spot a video that seems to be getting a lot of attention.
What's the video? Is it the one of Charlie Kirk? It was getting a lot of attention. Stay away from that, Charles. No, he is Charlie Kirk. I'm not really sure.
Charlie watches the video and learns from the video that Muslim men are stealing the places of British war veterans in emergency accommodation.
Okay, brilliant.
In the video, they explain that the government is betraying white British people and we need to take back control of our country.
Yeah, I mean, this is also really effective. Like, just say, don't do that. Anyone who's down this pipeline is just going to be given all of this shit by by X, by TikTok, by all of these places who are going to force this down your throat. Okay, you already know what's going to happen. I am not scrolling past that. I'm finding out more. I'm going to engage directly with the post. This seems unfair.
Charlie couldn't believe what they were seeing.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Charlie immediately began typing comments and sharing the video with their friends and family, wondering what they could do to stop this.
Yeah, what can we do?
As the likes, comments and shares came in, they felt that they had performed a patriotic service by standing up for veterans and white people's rights.
Charlie is a true British patriot.
Unfortunately, Charlie didn't realise that some of the groups they were engaging with online were actually illegal.
Great. Great. In America, they say the same, immigrants are making our veterans homeless. It's nonsense. Yeah, of course, they'll never reflect on why any of that is happening. You know? I didn't know there were Nazis in Sheffield. Yeah, they are. Chris is radicalising Charlie. Yeah, poor Charlie is going down the path of radicalisation. He's enjoying a normal family dinner. That does not look like a normal British family dinner. Excuse me? How is that a normal dinner? One person is having cherry pie. There's a turkey also uneaten on the table. He's eating just green slop here. Charlie's been forced to eat the slop and he's been denied a catering job.
Enjoying a family dinner at home when they receive a notification from their friend.
Okay, this is a scenario many of us have been in.
Charlie's mum makes a comment about using ferns at the dinner table.
Ferns.
But Charlie checks in anyway.
Charlie's checking in, you know, we all do this.
Amelia, Charlie's close friend, has made a video encouraging young people in Bridlington to join a political group that seeks to defend English rights.
Okay, this is why they like Amelia, by the way.
Amelia encourages Charlie to join a secret group on an app Charlie hasn't heard of before.
In America, the other funny part is, like, whilst the government is, like, paying for this slop to be put out, in America, white supremacists are currently receiving tens of thousands of dollars to go and arrest and brutalize people who are deemed to be illegal immigrants. So, like, you know, hard to really see the impact of all of this. But Amelia seems to be a bit of a troublemaker. She's also told me today that that Wallace and Gromit are going to be banned due to wokery.
Whether to join, explore further, or ignore.
Oh, ignore the video. The waffle is now green. This art sucks. Yeah, I mean, the art does indeed suck. How should Charlie react? No, I'm not ignoring the video. Could not upset Amelia. I mean, I've seen her views about Wallace and Gromit, and I think that those are very poignant and important stuff. I'm not going to just like the video. Show you support your friend, but don't join the secret group. Share the video and join the secret group as you requested. By the way, as well, like, they're acting like they're doing something about this. This actually happened with this woman who has a very, very funny song. Her name's Miss UK Kent, and the song goes, Keir Starmer, the Granny Harmer, wants us mixed up in Israel ridiculous drama. Her name's Mrs. UK Kent, and she had a group where people were talking about killing, like, killing and harming migrants and, like, refugees in our country. And I don't think she faced any action, and she was welcomed on GB News, by the way. An organisation which Nigel Farage, the UK's next Prime Minister, works for. And the green waffle is looking bad. He's still not eaten his green slop, and there seems to just be two peaches here. Can we fast forward to the part where Charlie gets his Discord kitten? Yeah, that's how he becomes de-radicalised. We're sharing the video, and we're joining the secret group.
Charlie thought the video the friend posted was so funny. They couldn't believe how many likes Amelia's memes were getting. It was inspiring.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Charlie joined the secret group on this new platform. Their phone wouldn't stop buzzing with messages of support and invitations to participate in several similar groups.
Okay, nice. You know, it's nice to be in groups.
Charlie's mum was not so pleased and grew suspicious of all this new activity their child seemed
woke Charlie's mum strikes again.
To be involved in.
Woke Charlie's mum. Oh!
Charlie was seeing their
It
dad
looks like there's some kind of date with Amelia going on here. I see why Basil the Great... Also, by the way, I love how they've all created, like, these sort of sexualized images of like a child. Because that's who Amelia's meant to be, right?
weekend. He lives in Hull, so they're
Amelia is a honeypot by MI5 meant to get Charlie sent to prison.
weekends look
Charlie, embrace third world Maoism and abandon this. And by the way, Silent Side, thank you for the $5. I don't know if I said that.
very different to their weekdays in East Riding.
Okay, Charlie's living in Hull.
Charlie's friend Amelia immediately looked interested and told them about a protest she wished she could go to herself, but was not allowed. Amelia spoke of a gathering that had been organised by a small political group. They would come together and protest the changes that Britain has been through in the last few years, and the...
What the hell is this? What the hell is this? I love how this is about the far right, but this is pretty clearly a reference to the bombing of Gaza.
erosion of British values.
Or is it about Britain getting bombed? And yeah, Charlie, this might be you. We're looking into it. We're going to find out.
Amelia talked about the banners and the pickets that her friends had made for the events and expressed a real regret that she could not go,
It is utterly
begging
ridiculous.
Charlie to go in her place.
Yeah, Thomas, this is the evil Candace Owens tricking poor Charlie Kirk into not supporting Israel. Yeah, we're all doing what Amelia tells us, and we're going to go wherever Amelia tells us. Thanks for the donation, Thomas, by the way.
Charlie has nothing to do this weekend, and a protest sounded like an interesting thing to take part in.
Agree to join based in on what you're hearing. I don't need to read the others. We're getting our rating down to the lowest ever possible.
Charlie decided this would be a good use of their time. Considering all the things they had seen and heard over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You guys are saying that it might have to do with the bombing of Dresden or the Blitz or something to that effect. Yeah, maybe.
It would be good to express their feelings about it with
So he was on a date with Amelia. Fair play, lad.
like-minded individuals. They went home and made a banner to take with them to the protest.
Why is this so? Why does it keep calling Charlie they as well?
Charlie arrived at the protest and was swept up by the atmosphere. It was great to see so many people there. Everything was going well until Charlie almost became involved in a fight by accident.
Here are the racist UK coppers arresting all the white people.
The police saw they were part of a group and took their details. Charlie was frightened by this, not knowing if their parents would be informed. Charlie thought about all the difficult choices they had needed to make in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'd be thinking about choices like that.
Some of their choices had led to changes in friendship, and Charlie was feeling low, as they weren't sure if they had made the right decisions.
Oh, Charlie has made all of the right decisions here. Charlie has made the right decisions because he'll get kicked out of school, he'll get a GoFundMe going where he's allegedly been targeted by the woke transgender agenda, and anti-white persecution. He'll then get to run a Twitter account and maybe seek asylum in the US. Yeah, the anti-white coppers, they've taken Charlie down.
The teacher had noticed this and decided to reach out.
No, never listen to the woke ideology teachers.
The teacher sat with them and talked openly and frankly about the ideology that Charlie had discovered. The teacher reassured that Charlie had made the right decisions. Charlie realised that if they had chosen to engage with these harmful ideas, the consequences would have been very different.
Oh, I see. The thing is that like I engaged with all of the ideas, but you know the harmful ideas are the woke leftist mindset. Click to find out what support Charlie could have received if they had chosen to engage with harmful ideologies.
Charlie accepted they may need support.
Wait, I didn't want to accept that.
Charlie's teacher made a prevent referral, and they were able to provide tailored support for Charlie. They began a workshop that helped them learn how to engage positively with ideology and the differences between right and wrong in expressing political beliefs. Charlie received counselling to help them process the other events.
This is the woke agenda. Congratulations on completing all scenarios.
Charlie was referred to Prevent and Channel.
Okay.
Charlie was assigned a mentor to help them one-to-one, someone who had been in their shoes.
Okay?
They were reluctant at first, but gradually warmed to their mentor.
This is pretty woke and gay. I don't know. This is a male-male relationship. They also had the counsellor. I noticed they made him be counselled by a woke black person, which is just not okay in the UK these days. That's what they're trying to trick you into, doing.
Forming trust with them, having heard and understood the similarities between them.
Charlie likes video games and the star.
The mentor was honest about the dangers of following a harmful ideology, and the message resonated with...
What they should have done is got Charlie involved in as I say, third world Maoism. A previous friend of mine got interviewed by Prevent because he ended up on a harassment list made by Zionists. So clearly their priorities are definitely worth continuing to fund. Yeah, I mean, it's just interested in people who are engaging with Palestine-related stuff, Muslims generally, and constantly pretending that everyone's an extremist and then never dealing with far-right people.
Charlie had been informed of the support they would receive from Prevent.
It's also so funny that there are, like, grown men seething over this and making weird sexualized images of... Amelia.
Including skills support and family sessions. With all these gentler interventions, Charlie was able to rebuild their confidence, find their identity, and continue their college course successfully. What is
Okay, I wanted a different outcome. So wait, let me just... Guys, I'm going to do the... get the timer going. This is the world's quickest speedrun. Okay, I'm choosing Charlie due to the quicker dialogue. We're going to hop through to next. We're going to download the video. Okay, this is great timing. Okay, let's see how quickly we can get through college. This is a difficult level, obviously. Amelia, very distracting stuff. Okay, we're through that one. Okay, next level. We're going to try and engage with the C skip here. Yep, we've hit it. Okay, we've got the low reputation. It's not good. The green waffle's distracting as well. This is the hardest level to get through. Really, really difficult. Okay, yep, we've hit the C skip again. We're making probably the greatest time through the Charlie Prevent speedrun. I don't want to engage with this part. This part's really difficult. I want to go down the path. Apparently I can't get past this part. What if Charlie had made... I made the harmful choices, though.
Charlie...
No.
Charlie was referred to Prevent.
No. Okay, this is woke and terrible.
Prevent is a referral program.
Let's learn about what Prevent is.
Operated by the Home Office in partnership with local services. It was set up in 2003 as part of legislation responding to the 9/11 terror attack in the USA. The overarching aim of Prevent is to stop violent extremism from happening within our communities.
Even with all your surveillance powers, you've not done very well at that, have you? Kind of amazing that on Twitter there's just a whole app dedicated to that kind of stuff.
It works on the basis that any ideology can be...
Sorry, yeah, my blindfold's downstairs, so I'm going to struggle with this. My sleep mask.
...harmful, and therefore anyone can be at risk of becoming radicalised. The programme seeks to identify cases of extremism before any violent acts are committed, and it does so by addressing difficulties vulnerable individuals may be experiencing and helping them overcome it. Why is Prevent important? Prevent is an important part of the UK's counter-terrorism strategy because it seeks to tackle extremist behaviour as it emerges instead of after an attack. It acknowledges that underlying issues and vulnerabilities play a role in extreme ideas and behaviours and wants to reduce the effects that push someone into extremism.
By the way, Amnesty International has written out against Prevent. I know someone who was like vaguely involved with this and they were awful.
Important because
I also I wonder how much money was spent on this video.
Prevent doesn't seek to punish people who have fallen victim to radicalisation. It aims to reduce the risk of violence and enable vulnerable people to live.
When I had to do a Prevent survey, it was like, do you think... I was not referred to Prevent, by the way. It was just like for a job thing. I had to basically say whether I think Prevent disproportionately targets Muslims in a quiz. And I said yes, and they were like, this answer is incorrect.
Life without hate or violence. Who does Prevent support? Though it is rare, Prevent understands that any ideology has the potential to harm others if
Third world Maoism.
The right conditions are met. Prevent does not target any specific demographic, community, or ideology, and the support they offer is available to anyone who may be motivated by an ideology to behave in an extreme manner. This means that anyone could be referred to...
Are Zionists referred to Prevent? Are young Zionists, young Jewish people who consider going off to Israel and fighting in the Israeli military, is that something that happens?
Prevent to receive their support. What is the process, and how does...
Okay, rubbish. Well, I wanted the bad ending. Let's have a look at this. This is Amnesty's video.
Oh, please let it not be on the list. That's the only kid who still reads a book. I'm sorry, little buddy. Look at that. The Lord of the Rings. You did the right thing. This child is either being radicalized or a giant nerd. He is a giant nerd, but he's really sweet as well.
Good afternoon, Prevent Child number 239.
You started the case already?
Do you know why I'm here today? The Free Palestine badge. No. Because I'm brown? No. A Muslim? No. Don't keep me in suspense. What are you doing in my school library? Don't you have more important things to do? Why are you reading that book? Oh, because you mean the film is better? See, I have seen the film. I watched it over and over again. I love it. I want to know if Frodo...
Okay, this video isn't much better.
...is better in the books than he is in the films. What's a Frodo? The Hobbit. The hero we love to hate. So you're saying you believe in heroes and people filled with hate. That's why you're drawn to their radical ideologies. Radical ideologies? I'm just trying to work out once and for all whether the book is better than the film. You see, my friend Tom says that the book is better, but I think the film is spectacular and it cannot be beaten.
Right, I've heard enough. You're going on the list.
What list?
Prevent Child number 239. I now inform you, you're on
the list. The detention list? No. The Home Office list. What's the Home Office?
It's where we keep the list with everybody.
I wonder if I'm on any of these lists.
Everybody who's at danger of being radicalized. The terrorist list.
I knew it was because I was Muslim. See, Frodo, he would never get put on the terrorist list. This isn't right. I demand to speak to your superior.
There's no one to speak to. You're on the list. There's nothing you can do about it.
Sir, we need to move on. There are reports of an 8-year-old kid reading Matilda to school in Leicester.
Let's have a look what they actually say. 5 ways Prevent harms children. Prevent duty violates our rights. It erodes trust. Young people know they're being watched. The government's Prevent duty demands that teachers act like spies. It is actually insane. You have to inform on your students, by the way, even if it's like Palestine-related stuff. Which means students become suspects for children. The people they should trust the most are forced to monitor them. That's actually an important point. It is discriminatory. Half of children reported to counter-terror police under the Prevent duty are Muslim or of Asian descent, as teachers are told to report based on instinct. This fosters a climate of suspicion based on religion and or ethnicity, not creed. Autistic children are disproportionately targeted. Lack of transparency. There is no way to challenge it. It is too vague. Reports are done on gut feeling. Amazing. So this like thing definitely does deserve to be memed. It does deserve to be joked about, but yeah, like, ultimately, it doesn't seem to have had a good job because I can go on Twitter and see all of this stuff. I know I've spoken to, like, actual people who taught in classrooms who talk about all of these problems who are like, hey, this is not really, really normal at all. But yeah, if a teacher's just racist and they want to point them out and be like, that person's wearing a hijab, they can do that. So that's an awesome, really, really, really awesome thought. But it doesn't end here. The Amelia stuff is just like... I'm just seeing here on Twitter a white nationalist account posting photos of Amelia dressed as a German from the 1930s, and that just being something allowed. Okay, so wait. This is their ending. They've even retconned their own ending. That's how lame these people are.
Despite the government's attempts at controlling Charlie, he kept choosing his human right to free speech and stood up for what he believed in. This was illegal. Although the police successfully arrested many natives for sharing memes on Twitter, there wasn't enough persecution, and so Charlie and his friend Amelia were able to speak. This was a major attack on democracy.
Oh, I fear this is
Election of
copyrighted. Oh, fuck it.
leaders who wanted to protect the indigenous and their culture. As a result of Charlie's actions, all the immigrants went home, and because of this,
Wait, is this the Schindler's List music? Is it? Is this the Schindler's List music?
housing, which naturally...
Is it? Does anyone know? Okay, we're gonna have to listen to this without the music. This unfortunately meant Charlie could afford to buy a house for himself, a house that could have gone to 10 Somali men. Not only that, but with huge amounts of migrants gone home, there was much less competition in the job market. That I can only play that much. Hold on.
Kept choosing his human right near the Charlie of leaders who were Charlie's actions demand for. As a result of Charlie's actions, all the immigrants went home, and because...
Wait, this is John Williams playing it. Okay, it's not exactly the same, it's just the vibe.
Because of this, there was much less...
But yeah, I mean, truly amazing stuff is happening with the British far right. They have, well, actually, I think Amelia has become like a, sort of universal thing. I think even Know Your Meme made like a thing about this. Let me just have a look. Okay, here you go. Know Your Meme is telling us about, let's have a look.
Social media users have found yet another goth girl to obsess over, but this one is just a little more problematic than the usual fare. Her name is Amelia, and she's an antagonist in the educational, UK government-funded
She is an antagonist.
Extremist video game Pathways. So why have our right communities on social media...
What is that guy's name? Bovril Gesellschaft. Bovril Society. Is that guy just a Nazi?
On social media decided to embrace Amelia as a symbol of anti-immigration. Here's what you need to know. Pathways is an educational visual novel and learning experience created by the UK media company Shoutout UK, with funding from the UK government's Prevent program run by the Home Office. The game is meant to teach the youth about the dangers of radicalization and extremism in both real life and...
By the way, there are loads of like far-right women now cosplaying as her.
Online. This is done by putting players in the role of a character named Charlie, who must navigate 6 different scenarios relating to extremism. In the second scenario, the player is introduced to the character Amelia, a staunch anti-immigration protester depicted as a goth girl with purple hair, a pink dress, and a choker. While players are not meant to take Amelia's side, one side of the internet...
She does have a choker, so you guys are all going, she's not a goth girl, she's not a goth girl.
...has recently decided to turn her into a controversial waifu. Amelia garnered widespread attention...
Wait, what is this Bovril? This Bovril Gesellschaft is like posting like lusty images of Amelia. They're also, by the way, they're also just turning her into like a just a straight up Nazi. And just like really racist shit. I'm looking through this account now.
On sites like Twitter and Reddit in January 2026, when people began complaining about the way that Pathways purportedly portrays teens who question immigration policies as extremists. However, rather than denouncing Amelia's rhetoric as Pathways...
Isn't that like a nationalist front symbol
is intended, far-right social media users and trolls have banded together to turn Amelia into a symbol for anti-immigration in the UK. This has resulted in a flood of fan art, memes, and posts celebrating Amelia, many of which are gaining tens of thousands of likes and reposts. Under one Reddit
Does Know Your Meme just make shit AI videos?
Post, a user writes, "Wait, are you telling me they made the cute goth e-girl the racist? Do they understand how the internet works?" Suggesting that the internet loves goth girls too much to hate Amelia. As the posts multiplied, users
Why are they also like making them all so hot? She's meant to be a child.
Began reporting that the game would no longer load past Amelia's sequence, with some noting that her scenario appeared to be removed entirely. A screenshot showing the title
there's loads of like horrible stuff on Reddit as well.
stuck on an infinite loading screen has fueled
there's people talking about role-playing it.
Speculation that developers disabled the game to curb the online reaction. As of now, the Pathways site remains inaccessible, and the Amelia segment cannot be played.
This is just AI, right? Like, this is just some terrible, terrible AI video, because none of that's true. You can still access it. I don't think it was taken down, and nor did they remove the Amelia segment. Also, I think I found out what Terra Trove Tales has been up to recently. Making pixel art of Amelia, stand with her, fight for her. Terra Trove, no! Yeah, I mean, just really amazing things are happening in the UK. The far right has developed a new love of this Amelia lady. They think she's awesome. Oh, God. She's a college student, so she could be 18. Yeah, borderline. Still, if she's 18, still a bit fucking creepy, you know? I want to see if this Basil the Great guy really, really likes her. Still. They've even got her with like a song by the Libertines. Don't Look Back into the Sun. They're even creating images of her as the woman who burnt down who burnt the photo of the Ayatollah. There's someone trying to sell an Amelia coin on here, which seems like the main trajectory for this.
From our crisp winters to
the accounts on here posting about this are insane. They're genuinely insane. Oh God, they're all really weird. Hold on, let me have a look at this Basil the Great mouse character to see if he's still posting about Amelia. He loves Amelia, bless him. Who knew that Grok would be able to do such amazing things? I love that everything Steven does is completely apolitical. He's just doing a favor for Amelia. He just wants online connection with his friends. He's totally innocent. His name's Charlie, but yeah, I agree with you, yeah. And, I just have to, I have to replay this one because I'm sure, like, you guys need to see this because this was at the start, if any of you...
Tonks? Tonks? No, I'm Amelia. We need to talk about Islam in the UK. Catholic, Protestant, atheist. We're all buggered if Islam takes over.
Someone pointed out how all of the characters look at her like she's really annoying.
Witches must be burnt, of course, but honour killing your daughters for not wearing hijab is much too far.
But Wallace, dogs are haram. If the Muslims take over, Gromit is a goner. Pigs are haram too, Pepper. Your entire family line ended.
And forget LGBT acceptance. Muslims will toss them out the window. Literally. First, we remove the Islamists from our government and our country.
Yeah, exactly. The UK is turning into a You're completely right about this. I also love that there is no other outcome than getting re-educated by Prevent and then being successful. If that was the fucking case, then why is the world and the UK turning into a fascist cesspool? I mean, because also just the way in which the Twitter algorithm is manipulated to spew out this kind of stuff is bad. And it is something that I would like to see changed. My main issue with it, though, is that, like, it doesn't address the problem of this stuff is appealing to a lot of people because of the way that our societies are. Like, this Basil the Great account just tweets out thousands of things a day. It may even just be an AI bot. And there are news outlets that are far grander than just a couple of kids enjoying, you know, a couple of kids on the internet getting into the wrong group chats who just push this stuff out constantly. It's not something that begins or ends with this kind of stuff. Although this guy is kind of woke. Australia free speech crackdown continues. Disabled woman pocket-dialed someone accidentally. Left a voice note with no message. Receiver claimed it was anti-Semitic. Disabled woman has been arrested. Of course, when it's actually like a real scenario, it's not actually mentioned. But like, these people have an entire media organization propping them up, GB News. You know? An imam will serve no jail time for arranging Islamic marriages for children. If you complain, Keir Starmer will have you arrested. The Islamic takeover continues. Yeah, I don't believe they're targeting the right wing. I don't believe they are. And I don't believe there aren't a multitude of racist teachers who will let you do this kind of stuff, you know? Who will let you get away with it because they're like, actually, I agree with you. Like, racist teachers exist. In your darkest hour, a sign of hope appears. Revenge of the Smirk. I am just so intrigued by this. Crazy. Unbelievable things. I'm surprised there's not been any attacks on data centers used to power AI. Because if you go anywhere near them, a Palantir drone blows you up. They check your mind for anti-Israel thoughts and then you're done with. You're done for. I don't actually know if there are consequences. I'm not actually sure. Sorry, I'm too hot again. And then I'll be too cold. My body temperature doesn't work properly. Paddington is a Peruvian immigrant. He would never side with Amelia. He is just a sweet little bear. Yeah. Although there are some problematic things. Like when you look at his passport, it just says Peru. It doesn't say where any of his tickets. It's just like he flew from Peru. Like as if Peru was just one place rather than a pretty large country. Okay, right. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is something that I've kind of skirted around or I just haven't had the time to talk about because there's been other news, which is the live stream fail guy, Stale 2000. He's been beefing with Charlie Moist Critical because that guy's job is just, you know, talking about stuff on the internet. But I think when the fact that this video came out like a few days before my first ever live stream fail appearance, my first ever live stream fail appearance really does provide so much comfort because much like all of those far rightoids on the internet, the vast majority of people do look like this and are very unusual.
As Mr. CEO of Reddit, I hope you have received this public video that I have created and sent to you via your email. If not, I hope anybody who cares about the topic in this video can get this to him in any way that you can.
By the way, I have that microphone, so if anyone's interested in that.
This video is about a topic of deadly seriousness, and that is of Reddit moderation and the state of your platform. But first, some background. I'm Brian, or Stale 2000, or Tarot Card. I was the top moderator of your...
Was this guy born in 2000, or is this some, like, DDG thing? Because this guy is, like, a fan of... These are the hangers-on to the Ethan Klein universe, you know, at this point. Stale 2000, Dan Saltman. He was named, like, DDGer of the Year, right? DGGer of the Year, DDGer? There's a photo of him and Dan Saltman. Ethan's button sponsor, by the way. Someone who called this a cope over is so accurate, by the way. He is 1 year older than Hassan. This is what Reddit moderating does to a man.
Your #1 gaming subreddit, r/livestreamfail, before I was recently removed from that position by the Reddit Code of Conduct team. I became a Reddit moderator for one reason, And that is because I think that Reddit communities and correspondingly its moderators have massive power and influence. And
they do have massive power and influence, but unfortunately, the massive power and influence that you use is literally just to go on a campaign against Hassan Piker. That is what it is. You guys use all the power and influence that you have to clip things out of context about Hassan Piker. That's the entirety of your life.
For some reason...
And yeah, his purple aura is certainly awesome. Am I supposed to know what a DDG is? Yeah, they're fans of Destiny. Like, oh, sorry, is the 2000? Because the Orc 2000 guy... no, it's Orc 20,000. It's not Orc 2000, who does, like, basically the same thing.
Nobody seems to notice, care, or take this seriously. Least of all, its moderators or the company. In this video, I will go over why I believe this, and I will also talk about a code of conduct moderation action that was taken against me due to good faith mistakes that I believe were caused by a clear lack of direct material support that the company gives its moderators. I will end the video by talking about what you, Spez, can do to fix.
He's just constantly posting in Destiny subreddit, by the way. That's what this guy spends most of his time doing, by the way. He doesn't seem like a very normal character, to be honest. Oh my god, I just worked out what the button in the middle of my mouse does. It makes the scroll wheel either resistant or, like, non-resistant. Feels kind of weird with the non-resistant scroll button. I feel depressed just watching him. Yeah, I kind of feel bad laughing at him. He looks crazy.
This problem, as well as what I and other communities can do in case Reddit does not solve this very serious mismanagement problem regarding the lack of support that is given to moderators.
Yeah, also, once again, kind of just adds more weight to the thing. The Hassan Piker upsets people so much because he's so castrating to them that he's, like, handsome, does left-wing politics on the internet, which were largely like an unpopular thing, and they're jealous of his success because maybe they hold in them some proclivity towards some left-wing politics, but they're very clearly just jealous of the guy.
First, I will go over the code of conduct action and why I was removed as the top moderator of r/livestreamfail. This sounds like stupid internet drama, I know, but I'm going to talk about how this is a very clear example about how Reddit's mistakes causes very serious problems to Reddit's community and the company as a whole.
But aside from people who really care about Ethan Klein, well, actually not even Ethan Klein, aside from people who care about Hassan Piker, what relevance does this have in the real world? You can certainly shape narratives and you can aid and abet crackdowns on pro-Palestinian free speech, I guess. But your dismissal has nothing to do with that. Livestream fail will remain this way. It's also just a bizarre little ecosystem of people whose entire life is just dedicated to hating Hassan Piker. And no, I have a razor, I don't remember which. This guy is the personification of Randall from Recess. Who's Randall from Recess? Oh, yeah, I mean, he's a crazy looking guy. I see. As a child, he may well have looked like Randall from Recess. Sometimes Reddit's useful. I was looking up what dairy farmers think about whole milk the other day.
Here's what happened. There was an announcement related to a live stream related game show called $1 Million Fan. It was basically a game show like Survivor or Big Brother where fans of a streamer compete in different challenges with an influencer or a streamer for various prizes. The kicker here is that there was a grand prize of $20 million, supposedly.
Right, I'm not listening to him talk about this.
Brought to these streamers by a company called Myth out of the show in some way. I don't know, there could be like being in a freaking reality TV show. By surprise, they immediately understood what LSF was, what power it had, and they even agreed to the stretch goal of like the cool competition to have in the actual show. From my perspective, this felt like one of the coolest things.
You can see why this guy likes Destiny as well, by the way. I'm just going to say it. You can see why he likes Destiny. It has existed purely as a vehicle for harassment of anyone who weird right-wing online freaks don't like. Yeah, it kind of seems that way. It really does. And it seems like a thing that just basically that a lot of that is targeted against Hassan Piker.
That a subreddit has ever done. I mean, being in a freaking reality TV show in a topic that's directly related to the subreddit, how awesome. And then, maybe I could leverage this to get even more opportunities either for our subreddit or for other subreddits across the entire platform.
It's also really funny that he's like, oh, I'm doing this for the benefit of Reddit. Stop running a harassment sub.
That's how I felt, at least. And that's clearly not how it worked out. After they agreed to kind of a couple of these kind of requests that I had in my stretch goal, they immediately started moving very quickly. They, we wrote up an announcement and they wanted this.
Yeah, this guy appearing on camera has certainly taken back the subreddit community by years. The subreddit, the mod of subreddit communities. They have been sent back to the dark ages after the appearance of this guy. He kind of, you know what? He could have done well playing like the Penguin in a Batman film, I think. I think he's got sort of that kind of look and sort of vibe.
In like 24 hours.
Batman, you've taken down my subreddit one too many times. My r/Gotham has been taken down.
So we quickly worked to make an announcement together, and I posted it the next...
Yeah, he's got wet lips because he's always eating fish out of the Gotham River.
Day. When I posted it, everybody in the comment section immediately yelled, scam, 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 scam. This initially didn't actually worry me, because no matter what we do, people call it a scam. I mean, I've done AMAs with the Twitch CEO. People called that a scam. And I was also thinking like multiple major live streamers were involved, Mythic Talent was involved. Surely they had done their due diligence, right? Additionally, the thing that people were the most skeptical about was the $20 million...
Careful what you say. This is the former top moderator of Livestream Fail. My sincerest apologies. He does look like he could play the Penguin.
Grand prize. This initially confused me as well, but once I heard that, Amazon Prime was allegedly involved, my initial concerns were assuaded. I mean, think about it. Amazon Prime has spent lots of money on tons of shows, and, I didn't necessarily think that the show was worth $20 million, but, that doesn't mean that Amazon Prime wouldn't fund it. And, if LSF was involved, maybe it would actually succeed.
I love how he's like, oh, this is all for the benefit of, like, the wider Reddit community, but then simultaneously is just sat here talking on and 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 on about money.
Maybe my involvement alone could make the $20 million kind of investment worth it. Who knows? At least that's what I thought. Now, here comes the next part of the story, when things get a little crazy. The next day, a major live streamer who was involved in the show, Extra Emily, said on her stream that she kind of saw all of these comments about people calling it a scam, and they even saw that, LSF was involved, and this was apparently unacceptable to her, so much so that she was considering kind of dropping out of the show or kind of looking into seeing if kind of the whole thing was a scam or not. After seeing this, I brought the concerns to the organizers, and the organizers told me that they were currently in talks with the agents to resolve this, and they told me in no uncertain
He doesn't actually look that greasy. He just has an incredible haircut.
terms that the show was not canceled and was still going on. So, me being somebody who didn't really have a lot of...
I often feel bad for people, though, like dunking on them, because, we've all felt the experience of being lonely and stuff. It's just hard to identify or feel sympathy with someone who just runs a platform that is entirely dedicated to harassment and simultaneously believes that they're some kind of influencer or celebrity. It's like, yeah, you have influence for harassment campaigns. That's like kind of it.
Information into the situation, and me, trusting these high-powered agents who represent these multi-million-dollar kind of celebrities, I trusted that they would kind of get to the bottom of this and kind of resolve these concerns quickly. During this time period, I saw and deleted a lot of unsubstantiated claims about the show and the mod team. There were accusations that I knew to be untrue, such that, the mod team had accepted bribes or, had some...
Someone 5 years ago in the Destiny Reddit said, whenever I see Stale 2000 in chat in a video or during a stream, everyone is always super mean to him.
Sort of financial involvement with the show, and I knew that they were not true because I was the one who had this idea the entire time, from...
It's fucking crazy how many leftist, like faux leftist streamers also draw themselves close to this, like Lonerbox for a long time, Destiny, Hutch, all of these people. This is who they're friends with. Ethan Klein as well. Like, he literally got a clip and edited, like, an out-of-context clip of me off live stream fail.
Start to finish, this happened a couple days. And what I can tell you, for those who, may not believe that for most moderators, I'm a highly paid software engineer working in San Francisco. I do not need to take a couple $1,000 bribes from, random internet scams, okay? I was doing this because I legitimately...
He's a highly paid software engineer, and this is what he's doing with his time. Bro, get like a girlfriend, start a family and stuff. It's way more exciting. Find love.
Care about the subreddit, and that's why I spend my time on it. I thought it'd be kind of cool events for the sub. I'm talking about this and kind of the deleted comments because this is apparently some big no-no in the Reddit TOS or something, or maybe it's like an unspoken rule where if you're involved in some sort of promotion and it ends up not working out or ends up being a scam or something, if you have deleted comments that have accused it of being a scam, well that, shows a cover up or some way. It shows malice or bad faith or something. So that's why I'm...
Reddit is also just such an interesting platform to choose to get your kicks from, right? Like, I don't know, of all of the platforms that I'd enjoy engagement with, I don't know why I just feel like, oh, I want engagement on Reddit. But also, the other thing that I've found is, like, once you have the experience of videos going viral regularly, you don't care. Like, you don't care. I don't care about this kind of stuff, and I would care even less when I didn't make the content. Like, I used to have videos on TikTok, I mean, I don't upload on there, it still happens sometimes, where they're getting, like, millions of views. I have a TikTok video that has over 10 million views, it has nearly 11 million views. Probably through all of the other re-uploads, it's close to, like, 20 million even. There are, like, people who steal it and rip it and make it into fake AI versions of myself. Once that happens once, the kicks are gone. So I don't really get why all of a sudden it feels so epic to upload clips of Hassan Piker, like, shocking his dog. It's just like, I don't think he is, but just uploading a video of that and that being, like, awesome.
Talking about this is because this was specifically a reason that was brought up regarding why I was kicked out as a mod on a live stream fail. And finally, I want to end this part of the story by talking about how Moist Critical made a video critical of the situation. And then about 30 minutes after this kind of video got released, I got reached out by the organizers of the events and told that 5 live streamers in the event had dropped out and that therefore the event was canceled and I should take down the post. In this video that Moist...
The people rising up on the internet right now, we are in an unprecedented time on the internet. I mean, you've got Stale 2000 pushing himself onto the scene, Clavicular, either end of the spectrum. It's amazing.
Critical had that was critical of the event. Moist Critical brought up points about how an image on the marketing page was AI generated, or that the domain name was registered in Iceland, or that basically...
Like, you would be so much happier if you just found friends and stuff, you know?
Just the whole thing, it smelled bad. That's what he did. He did this.
I need Drew Pavlu's dad to yell at him. Thanks, Charlie, for the $5,000. You are constantly being targeted. $5,000. Thanks for the $5, not 5,000. Thanks for the $5. But yeah, I think probably Drew Pavlu's dad telling him to get a job may actually do good stuff.
And he said it smelled bad. But beyond that, it doesn't seem like he did much research. I don't think that he reached out to any of the organizers. He certainly didn't reach out to me. And I mean, I don't...
There would certainly be a better community playing Warhammer.
I don't know if he reached out to Mythic Talent or any of the streamers. Now I want to stop people here.
I don't know. I've always felt like I love video games. Like, not gonna lie, I really like them. I get to play less because obviously I'm so fucking busy now. But I absolutely adore playing video games. And you know, at school, like, people were always mean and stuff. Like, I don't think really... Like, I went to an all-boys school, so people just kind of bullied each other quite mercilessly and said horrible things, and it made me, like, bitter and horrible. But I always feel sorry for someone like this. Like, I'm gonna say it, I don't think he's had the greatest of times, like, if he has this trim.
Because this is very important, and I think this is something that not a lot of people might have noticed. And that important point is that nothing in this situation has yet to be definitively proven as a scam. I repeat, there is no definitive, at least public information yet, that anything fraudulent, malicious, or illegal has happened in the situation. The only confirmed things that we have right now is that I guess there was a website, looked a little weird, there was some bad publicity, everybody called it a scam, and then a bunch of streamers dropped out.
Yeah, he did. And I just think it's sad how so many people become so repugnant and isolated that this is what they get up to on the internet.
And then the event got canceled and everybody got refunded. None of this is illegal. None of this is proved to be a scam, at least yet. Maybe I'll eat these words. And yes, in retrospect, there are certainly some things which we could call yellow flags or even red flags. But that being said, I don't want people to go...
I like a vast multitude of games, but I mean, Dota's probably the game I've invested the most time into and stuff, you know, over the last few years. Nah, man, that's empathy. That's a good thing. His life could have gone a different direction, and loneliness is fucking brutal. He just went to the too extreme, and we can't have that. Yeah, I mean, I know it's hard to feel sympathy for someone who associates and uses them, like someone who's like still a fan of Destiny to this day, like someone with serious allegations against them and all of these problematic things that they've done throughout their history. But like, my God, like, it's just sad that there are so many people like this. This is a young man. He's 30-something. He's an adult baby.
Go into this thinking that there was some proven malfeasance or something, when there really is a possibility that...
He has also made himself look like a cartoon character.
A lot of this could have just been kind of bad organization and things just fell through. Just because something's a bad idea, just because something is misorganized, that doesn't mean that anything illegal happened. You know, I still haven't gotten confirmation about kind of the Amazon Prime kind of a thing. I think that is the biggest unknown right now.
Yeah, I know. He called it malfeasance. I noticed that. I think he meant malfeasance.
I don't know about this supposed Amazon Prime deal, if it exists or not, because maybe they were in negotiation with them, maybe
Yeah, it's quite easy to become lonely and stuff, you know, and I don't know, throughout my life, like, it's, especially as I've gotten older, it's never really been that major of an issue, you know. I meet a lot of people, and through this I've met a lot of lovely people like Isaac, and it's kind of blessed, but it is a very tough thing for a lot of people, and the way in which we live now that's so isolated, where some of us can just spend all day working at a desk, like, I'm even noticing that I'm drifting, that I'm not spending as much time with my friends. I'm also, like, really terrible with my phone. Like, I hate replying to people. I find it all really overwhelming. I don't like how much people message me, which is never an indication of shouldn't, and I'm incredibly blessed, but yeah. And you're right, being lonely doesn't, but I just mean it's, like, kind of hard to make fun of him for certain aspects.
A contract was in the works, but hasn't been signed yet. I'm not really sure yet. We'll have to see. And then kind of I'll end the story by talking about why I got removed as the top moderator. It's really not a secret or very surprising. I got removed directly for the post that I pinned to the top of the subreddit related to the game show or supposed and alleged scam, as well as kind of for deleting comments that were kind of critical of it. I also want to make a comment about kind of the Reddit code of conduct team as a whole.
God, he is actually so boring.
Reddit has all this flowery language.
No, half of the messages are not you. It's just things like people liking my Instagram, asking me to do things, organizing events and stuff, and there's just so many things going on my phone constantly.
About how kind of the...
And then I got the Gyaldem blowing up my phone. You know how it get for me.
The code of conduct team is not here to punish you. It's kind of here to get you to act in good faith. It's here to kind of give you second chances and warnings and all of this stuff. And apparently all of that are lies, because I was not given any second chances. I was not given...
It's so impossible to listen to him talk about this. This is online. This is not to be spoken about. This will never cross the blood. It's like crossing the blood-brain barrier. Once it happens with any disease, you're done for.
Very many, very much kind of descriptive examples of kind of what I did wrong.
He is a brilliant storyteller.
Or kind of given any ability to kind of defend myself. I was just given a very vague description of, yeah, there's accusations about some fraudulent scam that takes people's money and their PII, which means their name, right? Because you have to sign up with your name to join a contest and so I have infringed on the
Yeah, Teddy Fast sent him a care package with some of the new Teddy Glow makeup in.
code of conduct by promoting a game show where you have to put in your name or something, even though it hasn't really been proved to be fraudulent yet. And so it's a little disappointing. Now, here's the most important part of the video, Spez. This is a direct message to you and only you. I want to talk about how this whole situation is a direct result of the lack of support that Reddit, the company, gives to its moderators. Yeah, I did the partnership. Yeah,
You know Reddit has isn't Reddit a publicly traded company? It is. Reddit is a publicly traded company. Look at this. In the past 5 days, Reddit is down 20%. You guys are laughing, but Stale 2000's Crusade has pushed Reddit down hugely. Wow. Holy shit. When was this video uploaded? 5 days ago!
I didn't look into this as much as I should, and I trusted kind of agencies and live streamers when I should not have. And I did delete comments, which I thought would have been borderline defamatory if the situation wasn't, I guess, a scam, even though it technically hasn't been proven to be a scam yet. But despite all of that,
this is like...
that there is still massive kind of like problems at Reddit, the company, due to the lack of support that caused this. But right before I go into the specific reasons of how this happened, I want to talk about why this matters in the first place. And this matters because Reddit moderators have power. They have influence. If you are one of the people who is joking about like internet janitor duties or whatever, I'm sorry to tell you, it's funny jokes, but
I do not pay that much mind to Reddit mods, and I don't think I've ever met someone who has paid this much mind and has put this much thought into Reddit moderation. It's something that just like doesn't interest me, you know? I think sometimes where it's like I look at a community like r/ask historians where they're really, really, really strict on their moderation. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, must require a lot of effort. But like I don't think that they're internet janitors. I have no meaningful and powerful thoughts about Reddit moderators. I think like generally a sub like livestream fails pretty horrifying in terms of what it is, what it does. I think subs like the H3 subreddit are insane as well. But, you know, there are many, in fact, there are many worse ones out there. By searching Amelia far right, the things I was seeing on there, Jesus Christ.
You are wrong. Reddit moderation does matter. Reddit moderators have control over millions of impressions per day, and nobody seems to notice or care. Let's just talk about LSF. Think of all the streamer careers that have been created because of LSF. Think about the even larger number of streamer careers that have been destroyed because of LSF, because some clip went viral about like something bad that they did. I have had major live streamers who are effectively celebrities come to me and beg to kind of remove, you know, negative posts about them. An even crazier story is the time when some Twitch employees found me in person and borderline begged me to make sure LSF is not used to destroy the multi-billion-dollar company Twitch, partially because
it's also crazy that, like, these people run a crusade against Twitch solely because Destiny is banned on it and this guy worships Destiny. When, like, wasn't that thing of, like, Sneeko, Clavicular, all those people literally saluting the Germans, doing the Kanye song and stuff, that was done, right, like, on Kick, and there have been people who've died on Kick. It promotes gambling and all of these horrible stuff. I mean, Twitch... Does Twitch still promote gambling? I'm not a Twitcher. Although, I might actually set up working multi-stream, and I may start streaming on Twitch as well. Just because, why not? Like, what's the reason not to?
Because at the time, LSF was indeed being used to destroy the multi-billion-dollar company Twitch.
Isn't he also like a disgruntled employee? Also, I love the way he delivers this.
Partially because at the time, LSF was indeed being used to destroy the multi-billion-dollar...
Destroy the multi-billion-dollar company Twitch.
Deservedly so, by the way. Or even just take this literal circumstance. Imagine the whole kind of operation...
Okay, no gambling on Twitch, right.
...was legit. Well, guess what? One single post on LSF caused all of the streamers to drop out and destroyed a $20 million opportunity.
Well, I'll only multi-stream. I'll still stream on YouTube.
Sorry, Mythic. My bad.
This is an outrageous video. I should have just watched from here. This is amazing. This guy, you know what? You guys were all laughing. You're not laughing now. You're not laughing now. This guy's got comedy. He's got jokes. He's got delivery. He's brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Your entire power base, your entire politics is just based on hating others. That's like literally it. And specifically hating Hassan Piker. Mostly because he's attractive and more left-wing than you.
Or imagine it was, I guess, a scam through and through. Well, guess what? We were the ones to expose it and destroy it before it had the chance to cause any real harm. I mean, everybody got refunded after all. Guess things ended up okay. Right or wrong?
Check Discord. Okay, let me have a look. Thanks for the donation, Thomas. I'll check Discord now. Brilliant. Beautifully made. Beautiful meme. I probably won't show that on stream, but I enjoyed that. Thank you.
You can think I'm a good moderator or a bad moderator.
Why is he glistening? Because what do you think's going on in the Gotham sewers?
You can think that LSF helps streamers or is the bane of their existence.
Bro's been hanging out at the Iceberg Lounge watching Destiny, and Hassan Piker Batman came and beat him up.
It's the entire industry. But please don't for a single second pretend like it doesn't matter. And that's just one subreddit. Now back to me.
This is golden. The narrative here. Now back to me.
Or a bad moderator. You can think that LSF helps streamers or is the bane of their existence in the entire industry. But please don't for a single second pretend like it doesn't matter. And that's just one subreddit. Now back to me. I was one of your most passionate users. I was in the Reddit partnership program from the start. I took advantage of every opportunity that I could. I had meetings with kind of the Reddit community managers. I begged them for help and kind of partnership opportunities at every chance.
Now, back to me.
That I could. And I was blown off every single time. I got nothing out of it. The community managers never helped me. As, you know, nice as the guy was, I think he had
Yeah, you are right. This video looks like the man talking to you on the screen before riding Space Mountain. It also kind of, looks like, I don't know, like some information video about, like, that you get in, like, a corporate job where they're like, don't do X, Y, or Z. Also, there's a photo of him going for DGG of the Year. Imagine the honor of winning the Destiny DGG of the Year.
Basically no power to help me. I was one of the only moderators out there who tried to grow my community, who had any ambition, who tried to work with the company or help other subreddits or help the company that hell, and it didn't matter. I failed, and it failed because of how mismanaged and how little support Reddit, the company, gives to moderators. So let's circle back. Let's go back to the moderation situation. This is a very key important point, so please pay attention. None of this would have happened if I had gotten support from Reddit. Do you think that I want to be the guy, like, going out, like, messaging random people in Discords and LinkedIn's and trying to figure
I do think you seem like the kind of guy who's messaging random people on Discord, just from watching this.
Out kind of these partnerships? I don't. This is not my job. I am not qualified to do any of this. I am not a lawyer.
How long do you think it is before Ethan Klein brings him on to, like, do a story about how Reddit is evil Hamas Hassan Piker?
Do not, like, I cannot read contracts to know what I should do or I should not do. I just want to, like, grow my subreddit, have a big vision, and I don't want to deal with this. At the end of the day, I'm a random nobody who got a meltdown. I just want to, like, grow my subreddit, have a big vision, and I don't want to deal with this. At the end of the day.
Oh, he edited it out because he said shit, but also maybe because he got so angry. Who created Livestream Fail? Fail. Who created it? The controversial forum. So there's a Kotaku article here.
I'm a random nobody who got lucky.
Ice Poseidon, Sweet Anita, Trainwrecks TV, Twitch Thoughts, and Booby streamers. That's what this was posting about a while ago. So here's Kotaku. I don't know when it was created. Like, I want to know, what's the, like, legacy and history of this? One of you has got to be interested enough for getting into that. Hey, guys, this guy sounds nuts. No, I think he's a reasonable guy, and I like his posting.
I took over one of your large...
What you have to admit is the amount of repulsion and the amount of, like, uncomfortableness that you're feeling from this video is certainly something that is enjoyable, I will say. And just to go back to the topic of, like, alienation and loneliness, I think deep down everyone is alienated and lonely, and I think there are two ways of dealing with that and living that life. I think either you choose to participate in community and you choose to have politics that try and push for a better sense of community and the betterment of lives of everyone else, or you build live stream fail Reddit, which is basically premised on hating Hassan Piker and loving Destiny. So it's kind of a difficult choice for most people in this current world.
Largest gaming subreddits on the platform because I won a stupid game of like Reddit mod politics. But apparently, I'm the only person out there who understands the potential that Reddit has. If Reddit had offered me...
If this guy went to the gym, mark my words, he would be so jacked. He wouldn't be watching Destiny. He'd be watching good content like more plates, more dates. He'd be doing shit like that. He would be yoked. This kind of focus, this kind of obsession would go hard in the gym, bro. Focus on that. You'd be sick. You'd be awesome.
Partnerships, if Reddit had pipelines to connect with kind of major companies, if Reddit had lawyers that were helping me, like reading over these contracts, reading over these agreements, none of these very real mistakes that I made would have happened. And before you say it, I'm sure there's some employee at Reddit, the company, that says like, oh yeah, we do that. That's my job. It's over here. Well, clearly you're not even doing 1% of what you should be doing. Because nobody uses these resources, nobody cares, you are not doing enough. Multiply it by 100, and then let's talk.
I don't think anyone cares, right? Like, I don't think anyone cares at all, because it's fucking Reddit. Like, yeah, Reddit is an interesting platform, it's good for finding some stuff out, but like, Reddit moderators do not cross into the minds of the vast majority of people. It is just not something that we think about constantly.
Reddit needs to be professionalized, and it starts with the mods. This is going to be controversial, but the people who are running your multi-billion-dollar website are unqualified nobodies like...
It's also really funny that he doesn't make any realization that on other social media platforms, like, TikTok is far worse than Reddit is for this. It seems that you can actually get into contact with human beings at Reddit. At TikTok, you cannot even get into contact with human beings. It is the biggest social media platform in the world. It's... I don't know if that's true, but it's certainly one of the largest. It is something where you can create millions of views, which translate into thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of adverts for the platform of TikTok. They keep people on the platform watching you. They come back to you, and the platform won't even speak to you.
Me. That doesn't mean it's my fault or their fault. It's your fault, Spez. Here's why.
Bro, I don't know who Spez is. I know who he is now, but like, I feel like knowing who Spez is and calling him Spez in a video that's meant to be really serious, just call him Steve Huffman. Ethan Klein hates this guy. To be honest, like, if Ethan Klein looked like this guy, no one on the internet would have taken any of his ranting seriously. Ethan Klein, Reddit owner.
The controversial solution is just get rid of the bad mods.
This is what Ethan gets up to.
Again, I don't want to hold Reddit accountable in ways like that. It sounds fun and funny to do. And certainly would be some really, probably, potentially bad PR for them as well. I think they're trying to make an IPO now too, aren't they?
They are in the middle of an IPO.
It's also got like a really nasty anti-Semitic slant. A lot of the harassment coming too, which is not pretty. But I would say, like, for example, just what's this lady? Anna Solner. She's the head of communications and PR. For example, if I made a subreddit dedicated to her, snark.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching any more of that, but like, Ethan's just someone who's a multi-millionaire and has people working for him, you know?
with better mods or paid mods or do takeovers or more rules or something like that. But there are better solutions. You can train them. You can give mods infrastructure or pipelines or resources or real kind of material support and treat them as if they have the actual power and influence that they actually have, and so communities can rise to the heights that they truly could. And the Reddit Moderator Partner Program is not it. Reddit moderators do not need one call with like one guy a month, as nice as he is, love you, Pablo, who has no power and no ability to affect anything. Reddit moderators—
Bro, like, this is just such an odd thing. This is just such an odd thing to be, like, obsessing over and talking about. This is a problem that is pervasive across social media. It is annoying about TikTok. I spent 2 years building up a TikTok platform and audience. I had to deal with the anxiety and stress of random TikToks being taken down, my account being threatened with a ban as a result of it, and, you know, like, something that I'd invested so much time and effort into nearly being just taken down. And I wasn't making, like, videos calling out the CEO of TikTok. Who even is the CEO of TikTok? I don't get a call with Pablo.
Need Christmas celebrations or special badges or community or events or team building exercises. No, even the Reddit event budget is barely useful. No, they need
Oh, the Reddit event budget. These are the real political concerns. Dunking on Hassan Piker and the Reddit event budget not being enough.
Real material support. That means access to anything that like a talent manager would give an actual celebrity. So an access to a bounty board or ad deals or lawyers or event organizers or professionals or anything that actually matters. To summarize, Reddit moderators should be treated like celebrities or influencers, not because they deserve respect or anything, but because they actually have real power and influence. I mean, if not for the world, at least over your $50 billion company, maybe if you gave them actual support, it could go from 50 billion to 100 billion. I mean, it certainly deserves to be that high up for how much traffic Reddit gets. So why haven't you solved this problem already, Spez? Is it because you're out of touch and you aren't aware of the problem? Is it because Reddit is a bloated mess and they can't ship products? No, I think the real issue is that Reddit is held hostage by the negativity and toxicity of its user base, and it doesn't really have the
negativity and the toxicity of its user base. The call is coming from inside the house, my man.
The freedom to make bold and important and transformative decisions that could save the company. If you agree with anything that I said, Spez, well, you're in luck. I live in San Francisco, and I would be happy to talk to you in person or any Reddit product manager or employee at all, or on a call or something. That's my pitch to you, Spez. The rest is to the community.
Bro, I don't think he's calling you. I think it is like a bit like, I don't know. He's really not different. Like, I just saw this tweet pop up whilst I was trying to look at something. Clavicula realized that jester maxing at the club is actually peak fun. Clavicula just cracked the code. Jester maxing at the club is officially the new meta. Forget the mysterious guy in the corner trope or the stiff arm drink hold. We are entering the era of high energy, zero ego, chaotic fun. If you aren't the reason the floor is laughing, are you even living? Like, look, I don't know if this account is joking, but there are certainly people who live and exist in this kind of world, who think and feel this kind of way, and it's kind of just like, Christ almighty, man, like, none of this is real, none of this is serious. The Reddit events budget is not politics, it's not something... Actually, you know what? I suppose what he is saying is, like, this company should behave differently and this kind of stuff. And I suppose demeaning that in some ways is, like, ridiculous. It's more just the way he behaves online. Like, the way he behaves and the subreddit he runs that undermines all of the shit he's saying.
Community. To the community. Spez and Reddit, they're almost certainly not going to fix any of this. All of this is up to us to solve. For anyone who this message has resonated with and wants to solve this problem, well, I have created a subreddit called r/SubAlliance. SubAlliance will be a non-profit, volunteer, community-based
r/SubAlliance. The r/sub alliance is just posting images of him as, like I was thinking of it as in the sub-dom relationship context, but someone has just posted this of Al from Toy Story, don't know who that is, and then Jimmy Neutron's young friend, whose name I don't know either.
Initiative to solve all of the problems that I have laid out. We will create tools and resources so good, so useful, that everybody will have to work with us. Think
also called sub-relationship.
Talent agency, but for subreddits. You have the big ideas, you have the vision, you have the crazy cool things that you want to do, and we handle the logistics.
What is the crazy innovative idea of like live stream fail, right? Just posting clips of streamers and people being able to talk about it. Is that it? Is that like the special nature of live stream fail, right? Like, is that the innovative idea? Because to me, that's not very innovative. It's just posting people's clips on a forum, which you didn't make. Clips of people who are not yourself. You are not the person, like, really... I guess you aggregate them, so you might make the argument that that's what provides the value and brings users back to the platform. And no doubt these platforms should offer you better treatment and like should be more engaging with their audience because it's a wider problem of social media companies. However, what you do is going to make it very hard for anyone to identify with you and like have major sympathy with it. You know? Because why would I have major sympathy with it? By the way... He's updated his background now to be like a pixie in a wizard's lodge.
People who are looking at me in horror or laughter or pity should ask themselves what that says about the $50 billion platform that is Reddit. Take every insult that you have against me about how I'm incompetent, about how I'm biased, egotistical, power hungry, etc., all that, and ask yourself, how does that make you feel about Reddit, knowing that I was able to control one of the top subreddits on the platform for over a year with borderline dictatorial powers doing who knows what that you'll never find out about, and then realize I am the bull in the china shop. I'm telling you.
It's also so funny that Ethan Klein was like aligned with this guy and like his face being put out there just like makes everyone kind of be like, oh my god, this is kind of insane. But he was aligned with this guy and his insane subreddit based on harassing people. A guy who is literally just dedicated to Destiny. Like, look at his profile. Destiny, I give you my life. Vaush is unironically Thanos. The meta ethics of NFT Twitch sponsorships. Pokemon is worse than gambling. Twio hackathon app are the worst. Interviewing at a stealth startup be like Orbiters, the G word. Gordon Ramsay selects a special guest. DGG hate raids. Destiny is a gravy gnome. What is this?
Hey everybody, it's me, your favorite political debate streamer, Stephen Destiny Bonnell II. And I'm here today to tell you all that I really love gravy. In fact, you could say that I'm a gnome for gravy. Like a gravy gnome. A gravy gnome.
The thing is when this guy is trying to do jokes and sketches, he's not like actually very funny. But when he's talking like him as himself, he might actually be a good poster. He might actually be a good poster.
Do these things directly. Forget about me. Think about all the other subreddits that exist.
Ridiculous. Hey, Goliath, thanks for becoming a member.
Think about how you have no idea who they are, what they're doing, and every time somebody like me gives you a peek under the curtain, society gawks at the insanity of all of it.
You are a moderator in a subreddit. Why are you chasing down brand partnerships and collaborations, buddy?
I mean, you're an influencer with a platform. Why do you do it? You could say personal enrichment, but you don't strike me as somebody who's completely motivated by money. I could imagine you...
that this dude expects fair treatment from a company as a volunteer worker in this job environment. Yeah, I guess it is like crazy that people are volunteer workers, but then that's kind of how Reddit operates, on the basis of basically it's a forum to moderate a community that you care deeply about. The Chris K subreddit.
Doing a brand deal or partnership, not for money, but just with a group that you think is cool for your community, or maybe you just want to. And Reddit is a platform like any other platform, and moderators are in charge of it. I know.
What does this guy like even watch Destiny for?
This is rare and nobody does this stuff. That's my entire point. Reddit as a platform is underutilized. So just like you might utilize your platform, why can't moderators? You brought up examples of conflicts of sacrosanct of a platform, that it's different from any other platforms where conflicts of
Wait, are these actually cuts in his own video?
Interest exist. I guess for Reddit moderators, we're representing other people. We don't truly own the platform, so maybe it's more important for us to be unbiased compared to other platforms, I guess.
I think like a subreddit that you basically claim is something amazing and innovative, that is about posting, that is basically just about like posting clips of streamers and making or breaking their careers. When you are dedicated to kind of like one of those streamers who is particularly toxic, who isn't liked by the vast majority of other streamers, I think that might be a conflict of interest, and that maybe you shouldn't be controlling a subreddit like that.
But man.
The Chris K snark, yeah, I mean, maybe one day someone will make that, but...
And if we're worried about bias, I can promise you that there are way bigger fish to fry in terms of how biased moderators are allowed to be, that I'm not sure that brand deals for community events is really the biggest danger out there. But sure, it's something to look out for.
There are no qualifications to be a Reddit mod.
You're right. There aren't any qualifications. But maybe there should be. Maybe because there are no such qualifications, this is why we're seeing all the problems that we see. It seems like you're trying to have this every way past.
Why did you... Bro, this has to be some kind of bit. Why did you put yourself in like a way... Is he just leaning into the bit? Like, why did he put himself in like a fantasy background with crystals and a fake microphone?
Sunday.
Also, that Rhoda mic is like for doing interviews outside. I have checked the art channel, by the way. I have checked the art channel. I enjoyed some of the art in there. I enjoyed lots of it. They had to tag the video so that Ethan doesn't sue them. Which one? Have you watched Dead Domain's video about Destiny? No, I have not watched Dead Domain's video about Destiny, and nor do I plan to watch a 3-hour video about Destiny. I saw someone that was like, I have to draw a line somewhere. I can't learn about another internet person like Clavicular or Sneeko, which I already know far too much about, and I will not be drawing a line anywhere. Okay. Right, let's go and do some of the Davos stuff. Now, we have to start off with one Davos thing, because my hero was there. In case you don't know who my current hero is, it's switched from Todd McGowan a bit, much more to Adam Tooze. Here's Adam Tooze on the left, if you're ever wondering what Adam Tooze looked like. And we're not watching this whole 48-minute video, it's way too long. This is Adam Tooze and Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is, oh god, I've already forgotten what his job is. Howard. Secretary of Commerce, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce. This is Rachel Reeves, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and then this is some Canadian guy. I think he's Quebecois. And then this is these are just two private sector individuals.
A private sector representation as well. I mean, I'm going to start with the public policy issues that are on everyone's minds right now that bear directly on the issue of sovereignty and interdependence. And I'm going to turn, with your permission, to Secretary Lutnick to give us maybe an insight and explanation. I think a lot of people are looking at Davos to see and to try and better understand the mindset of the Trump administration.
No, I've not abandoned Todd McGowan. I just think Adam Tooze is absolutely brilliant, and the amount of content he puts out into the world is truly spectacular. Like, if you want to understand, like, just things going on in the world, I can't recommend a character better than Adam Tooze. I really want to read his book Crashed. I've only read the what's it called, the Deluge, and I've been reading this since, and I'm also trying to read a Mari Ruti book.
Speaking to you earlier on, it's the first time I've had the privilege of meeting you.
By the way, everyone's been talking about Stale 2000's haircut. Howard Lutnick has a crazy-ass haircut.
I've seen you on TV a lot. In person, the impression is even more overwhelming. Of, on the one hand...
God, Adam Tooze, though, I will say, is lift-maxing and height-mogging Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick looks tiny.
Kind of extraordinarily ebullient, dynamic.
That was in a nice way, Howard.
Dynamic. These are good words. These are all good. I'm coming to a different tone in a second. But, like, initially, it's this just extraordinary ebullience, dynamism. You were saying you've sealed deals for $1.5 trillion in jobs and investment into the United States.
This is actually a great bit. Have any of you noticed what he's doing? Adam Tooze does not talk like this normally, if any of you didn't know. Adam Tooze is doing this because he's trying to, like, flatter Howard Nutlick, as you will keep talking, into loving him.
Yes. And then you said, and this is where the tone shifts, you got to understand, I'm the hammer. These were your words. I'm the hammer. Because the people I'm dealing with know that unless they deliver the kind of investments I'm looking for, I'm coming with 100% tariffs. And that duality, I think, between the dynamism, the constructiveness, the forcefulness of the...
I think he's mocking him. Like, Adam Tooze's... There was a great article about, like, Adam Tooze's history and who he is and stuff. In the Financial Times, in The Guardian, where he talks about how Democratic Party politicians, if they were around in the 1930s, pretending that they have wounds from the last election, would be shot.
American state, which was, after all, also something many of us saw in the Biden administration, and this element of threat is what many of his DAVOS are actually trying to come to terms with. Because this is, to say the least, unfamiliar. And when it moves from the zone of economic policy to the question that is directly under the subtitle of our talk today, which is sovereignty, and we're talking about the territory of Greenland, and it's coupled so directly to tariffs, it's a fundamental shock to the system. You can read it off the faces and the rhetoric of every single European...
Is this too quiet, by the way? It feels a little quiet.
...politician and business person I've spoken to while we've been here, and we're also getting reactions from around the world in similar tones. So I really wanted to ask you to help us understand, not in a sense what you're...
Hold on.
Unnecessary. It's the Western, and so...
In this, all motivations are, because I get it, like you want Greenland, it makes sense. You're proud Americans, you're advocates of President Trump's policy. What I struggle more with is how you imagine others react to this. I mean, if you put yourself in the position of your Danish counterpart, who's a proud Dane and a loyal executor of the Danish government's position, how do you envision this going? How does this go down?
Well, I think you should start at a much higher level. Okay. We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point. Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is...
Calling the World Economic Forum the WEF is crazy to me. I feel like I've never heard anyone say that. I feel like it's called the WEF, no?
Export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind. And what we are here to say is that America First is a different model, one that we encourage other countries to consider, which is that our workers come first. We can have policies that impact our workers. Sovereignty is your borders.
Goliath 2017, been following you since your early TikTok days, finally able to afford a membership, now employment for the win. Thank you for everything you do, Chris, truly. Thank you for the incredibly kind donation, Goliath. Thanks for the £5, and I'm glad to hear that you found employment. Like, a great shout out to you. Just listening to this where it's like, yeah, I hate globalism. It's really funny that, like, all of the people around Trump don't believe that you should trust experts. They don't believe in globalization. And yet they're surrounded by all of these billionaires who run huge companies that aren't even elected, that basically just have unlimited power to do as they please and act in shadowy ways. And that's just okay because they go to the WEF and oppose globalism. They're at Davos. And they don't make you eat the bugs. Wait. We can definitely listen to this also, the Klaus Schwab song.
Entitled to have borders. You shouldn't offshore your medicine. You shouldn't offshore your semiconductors. You shouldn't
They did actually talk a bit like this. They did actually talk a bit about this the height of the pandemic, right? They spoke about that. They were talking about how, like, it was objectively bad not to have PPE made in your own countries, but none of them touched on the fraud for some reason. In the UK, there was so much fraud during the peak of it. Like, people were just extracting huge amounts of money during the COVID pandemic. Like, the peak of it. I'll respect what Taylor was telling me the other day about, you know, it's still ongoing. They were just extracting huge amounts of wealth and doing all these dodgy, corrupt contracts to take out, like, huge amounts of money. And there is definitely something to be said about having, like, decent companies in your country that can produce things that we are all in need of, but yet simultaneously part of the problem pertains to this specific world in which we live in, where we absolutely demonize China and such.
Offshore your entire industrial base and have it be hollowed out beneath you. You should not be dependent for that which is fundamental to your sovereignty on any other nation. And if you're going to be dependent on someone, it darn well better be your best allies. Okay? And so that is a different way of thinking. It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as not a flagpole.
Why does he keep calling it the WEF?
In the middle. But in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar, you should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would you?
Yeah, it is as if capitalism isn't sustainable or moral. It's kind of funny because isn't the concept from Adam Smith that the invisible hand will ensure that people don't do this kind of stuff, that they offshore all business? And also, by the way, Trump has no problem with any of this stuff when it's needed or whenever he can make huge amounts of money for himself and his family.
Europe agreed to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery. They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be...
It's really interesting looking at Tuz's reaction.
...subservient to China, who makes the batteries. Why would you do that? Why would the United States of America, which has oil and natural gas, try to convert to all electricity? China does not have oil and natural gas. Electricity.
By the way, this is just a shit idea. Like, it's obviously the reason that people are converting is in part because of the climate, but it's also because this energy is hugely cheap to produce. And it doesn't have, like, as much difficulty in extracting it, and you can make use of, you can make use of things that are happening anyway inside of your country, and you can use it, you can even blend it with, all of this, oil and things, like, all of these natural gases and stuff. But, of course, Howard Nutlick is too stupid to understand any of that, so he'll just go, yeah, we got to get rid of it because Trump said they kill birds. And no, you haven't missed Carney's speech. And yeah, I've heard that fact. Without Denmark, you're entirely reliant on Ozempic, and also you are entirely reliant on American insulin. So without Denmark, you are Danish insulin, you are done for.
And electric cars make perfect sense to them. That is practical and logical. So the point I want to make, and I want people to think about, is that America first.
And also, we can just, if we were to, like for human beings, right, and for prioritizing your citizens, Chinese-made electric vehicles are so incredibly cheap. They are so incredibly cheap, and the bang for your buck that you get is unbelievable. Like, if they were widely available in Western Europe and just the Western society in general, people would be driving those shits everywhere.
Is the job of our government to take care of our workers, to make sure their lives are better for it. And then, don't be America alone, right? But be America first. And I would suggest that policy is something for other countries to deeply consider, to take care of their own, and then we will work out wonderful relationships between us. But I want to point out, when America shines, the world shines. Close your eyes and think of a world without America.
You are right about, like, just unelected morons being in these kind of positions and just not having anything meaningful to say. But very often they were just talking, like, absolute, like, economic rubbish about, like, how things were getting better for people. And they just objectively were. And someone, I think Elab said, like, fuck the global south.
It is utterly ridiculous.
It's true. I'm not sure they've ever given much of a shit about the global south. And yeah, it may well be mouse feasment. And yeah, on the topic of I'm talking WEF. That's that WEF F fussy. Thank you, Silent Size, for that powerful message. And thank you, Trevor Trove Tales, for the $2.
In it. It becomes pretty dark, pretty darn quickly. When America shines, right? And everyone said, oh, you're going to do all these tariffs, you're going to destroy the world. The world's stock markets are up.
By the way, a lot of this has come from the fact that Trump has gone nowhere near the Liberation Day tariffs that he announced. He's backed down on a ton of tariffs, but also there is a lack of confidence in the American dollar. It's sliding because the rest of the world is like, hey, I'm not sure we should invest in that the dollar's such a useful or stable currency as it once was because of all of this stupid shit Trump is doing.
Which ones of them?
Yeah, close your eyes and think of a world without America. Bro, please, I can only get so wet. Yeah, I mean, close your eyes and think of a world without America. It is certainly a better world. We got a lot of other settler colonies and imperial powers to do away with, but certainly a better world right now.
All of them.
Can I bring you back to Greenland?
No. It's unnecessary. It's the Western Hemisphere is vital for the United States of America. Our national security people are on it, and they care about it, and I'm going to leave it to them to address with our allies, with our friends, and with everyone how they work it out. But the Western Hemisphere matters to the United States of America, and the United States of America, as I've just articulated, really, really...
Rachel Reeves, by the way, is sat there pathetically working out what she's going to say. We're only going to watch Lutnick. If anyone wants to watch the whole thing, it is available online. It's kind of interesting.
Matters to the world. When America shines, the world shines, because they all need to make sure America is strong and powerful to take care of them, God forbid. And so I think America and the Western Hemisphere are vital to America, and I'm going to leave that to my national security people to address.
Right. The rest of us, I think, are finding it harder to make that kind of separation clearly. And I would be curious to know...
The dollar's increased, you're saying? It doesn't look like it's increased. I guess marginally it's increased a bit. Yeah, it does look like the case. Why exactly it matters? Yeah, it would be useful to it would be useful to hear about why it mattered. But anyway, if you want to look at the more technical stuff, Adam Tooze will no doubt have a really interesting piece out about Davos in a few days. I mean, he's there, as you can tell. He was in that video. But Trump has pulled back from saying they're going to take it by force. He had a certainly incredible day today. Listen to this.
Denmark said that they would spend over $200 million to strengthen...
Yes, by the way, a lot of this stuff about... you know, spheres of influence is very Nazi-like. This is how Carl Schmitt thought and felt about the world, who is probably the most important conservative far-right thinker. Well, I guess the right-wing thinker might be the better description. And no, I don't think Reeves came across as very good in the Adam Tooze panel, personally.
Greenland's defenses, but as you know, they spent less than 1% of that amount. 1%. There's no sign of Denmark there. And I say that with great respect for Denmark, whose people I love, whose leaders are very good. It's the United States alone that can protect this giant mass of land, this giant piece of ice, develop it and improve it and make it so that it's good for Europe and safe for Europe and good for us. And that's the reason.
His speeches, like, I'm sorry, I think people are caught up in the other stuff. The fact, like, you know, going back to that video that we watched earlier, the fact that this guy came out and was talking about all of this stuff about Europe being invaded, it not looking the same, low IQ Somalis, that is a really important thing that I think will be overlooked for like Greenland and stuff.
I'm seeking immediate negotiations to once again discuss the acquisition of Greenland by the United States, just as we have acquired many other territories throughout our history, as many of the European nations have. They've acquired, there's nothing wrong with it. Many of them, some went in reverse, actually, if you look. Some had great, vast wealth, great, vast lands all over the world. They went in reverse. They're stuck back where they started. That happens, too. But some grew up.
By the way, he is a completely bumbling idiot.
Oh. But this would not be a threat to NATO. This would greatly enhance the security of the entire alliance, the NATO alliance.
Yeah, brilliant. I'd love to hear how it would enhance the NATO alliance. By the way, he's tweeted this recently. Macron, Starmer, von der Leyen, you've had your chance and frankly, you've blown it big time. While Europe drowns in bureaucracy, weak borders and endless meetings that solve nothing. Greenland is sitting there. Enormous potential, incredible value, totally underused, sad. Under US leadership, Greenland would be great again. Tremendous security, real investment, jobs, infrastructure, strength, not lectures and paperwork. We build, we win, we protect. America doesn't talk. America delivers. When the US leads, the Arctic is strong, safe, and prosperous. When Europe leads, chaos, delay, and decline. Greenland deserves strength. Greenland deserves growth. Greenland deserves America. The future is bold, leadership, and everyone knows who does that best. He was on some crazy shit today, by the way. As well, he kept on talking about how... the First World War ended because of Spanish flu, which is not a major factor in the end of the Second World War, by the way. The First World War.
I have tremendous respect for both.
Wait, Sky is claiming that apparently...
secure Greenland other than the United States. Both the people of Greenland and the people of Denmark. Tremendous respect. But every NATO ally has an obligation to be able to defend their own territory. And the fact is, no nation or group of nations is in any position to be able to secure Greenland other than the United States. We're a great power, much greater than people even understand. I think they found that out 2 weeks ago in Venezuela. We saw this in World War II when...
Bro's had such a bad time at Davos that he's going to go and bomb Iran, I reckon.
Denmark fell to Germany after just 6 hours of fighting and was totally unable to defend either itself or Greenland. So the United States was then compelled, we did it, we felt an obligation to do it, to send our own forces to hold the Greenland territory. And hold it we did, at great cost and expense. They didn't have a chance of getting on it, and they tried. Denmark knows that. We literally set up bases on Greenland for Denmark. We fought for Denmark. We weren't fighting for anyone else. We were fighting to save it for Denmark. Big, beautiful.
I think Trump is more likely to nuke the world than any person who ever lived. I don't know, bro. I think there are many people who've lived who might have nuked the world, but I think Trump is destroying America in a way that is irreparable.
Beautiful piece of ice. It's hard to call it land. It's a big piece of ice. But we saved Greenland. and successfully prevented our enemies from gaining a foothold in our hemisphere. So we did it for ourselves also.
By the way, he's really heavy in the spheres of influence stuff. See, you know what? Trump and John Mearsheimer don't actually share very different opinions about Greenland, Ukraine, and Russia and the US.
And then after the war, which we won it big. Without us, right now you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid were we to do that? But we did it. But we gave it back. But how ungrateful are they now? So now our country and the world face much greater risks than it did ever before because of missiles, because of nuclear, because of weapons of warfare.
Who are the people that your country face a great threat from? You like Putin. You like Xi Jinping. You constantly opine how much they are, how wonderful they are and how close you guys are. So what's going on? What's the problem here? What's the issue? Who's the threat? Why do you need Greenland?
That I can't even talk about. 2 weeks ago, they saw weapons that nobody ever heard of. They weren't able to fire one shot at us. They said, what happened? Everything was discombobulated. They said, we've got them in our sights. Press the trigger, and nothing happened. No anti-aircraft missiles went up.
It doesn't really make sense because it's like simultaneously we are so strong and powerful that we can do anything, but then it's also no, we need Greenland so we can do anything. What's going on? It's not very logical, is it, in terms of their rhetoric as to why they're justifying it. And by the way, I think me and Isaac might do an episode about colonialism and Greenland maybe, and frame it with that, because I think it could be an interesting fun framing to do.
There was one that went up.
Well, I was my girlfriend earlier was like, oh, Trump's talking at Davos. And I was like, yeah, I know, I started it. I'm going to watch it in 2 times speed. I'm not watching this, regularly. I'm not watching this. I am not interested in watching this. It's not interesting because also, by the way, so much of what Trump is saying is really hard to fact check. One of the things that is incredibly hard to fact check, for example, is how many jobs have been created in America. So when Biden was in power, Biden's economists, for all of their good or bad, what they would do is they would focus on something like, okay, how many black people are young black men, are losing employment right now, are being fired and stuff. Because generally, apparently that's a really good recession indicator, because when an economy's doing well, young black men will generally be getting jobs, but when it's doing badly, apparently they're the first people who start to go. Whereas Trump has slashed all of these statisticians, so he can basically just go and say whatever he wants. Also, a lot of the blowback of tariffs and what he's allegedly done to improve the country have not been fully felt because loads of companies preloaded on goods. So this year could be an absolute economic bloodbath for him.
Up about 30 feet and crashed down right next to the people that sent it. They said, what the hell is going on? Those defensive systems were made by Russia and by China. So they're going to go back to the drawing boards, I guess. Greenland is a vast, almost entirely uninhabited and undeveloped territory. It's sitting undefended in a key strategic location.
Do you know that as the 2008 financial crash was happening, George Bush went to the UN, very close to Wall Street, as companies were starting to move towards going under. He ignored the topic totally, and instead he just went on and on and on and on about how America was awesome, how they were fighting the war on terror. This is what all of this feels like, a nonsensical, incoherent speech.
Between the United States, Russia, and China. That's exactly where it is, right smack in the middle. Wasn't important nearly when we gave it back. When we gave it back, it wasn't the same as it is now. It's not important for any other reason, everyone talks about the minerals. There's so many places. There's no rare earth. No such thing as rare earth. There's rare processing, but there's so much rare earth.
By the way, I think it also takes years to set up and make rare earth processable to be able to be processed.
And to get to this rare earth, you got to go through hundreds of feet of ice, That's not the reason we need it. We need it for strategic national security and international security. This enormous unsecured island is actually part of North America, on the northern frontier of the Western Hemisphere. That's our territory. It is therefore a core national security interest of the United States of America. And in fact, it's been our policy for hundreds of...
One might also make the argument about all of this that the US government has become increasingly obsessed with like manifest destiny imagery on Twitter. And so it's kind of it's kind of interesting that this is happening now, and many tropes are like being re-pushed out. Maybe that's the Trump administration's thought as to how they'll get this.
Years to prevent outside threats from entering our hemisphere, and we've done it very successfully. We've never been stronger than we are now. That's why American presidents have sought to purchase Greenland for nearly 2 centuries. You know, for 2 centuries they've been trying to do it. They should have kept it after World War II, but they had a different president. That's all right. People think differently. Much more necessary now than it was at that time, however. In 2019, Denmark said that they would spend over $2...
This is just straight up shit. Just straight up rambling. So someone is saying that that there's a misunderstanding over Greenland may have sparked diplomatic chaos. What's the but the US president, fresh off his involvement, seems to have been confused or misinformed about the purpose of the mission, threatening tariffs on the countries involved. What? I don't think he's misinformed. Troops begin to arrive. Denmark says blah, 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 blah. Confusion over deployment. Confusion grows over the purpose of the troop deployment. Pictures including a Royal Danish Air Force. The US official tells the Times it wasn't clear if this was a deployment or merely a symbolic gesture. Threat of tariffs. Things heat up. And then what? Starmer and Maloney tried to clear up misunderstanding. Okay, whatever. It just looks like an off-ramp. Hello, Emily. What do you... what's up? Right, sorry. Okay, I was going to do like a whole segment, but maybe I'm going to do a segment specifically about Macron. Now, actually, before we do, Trump said something fucking hilarious about Macron.
Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened? But I watched him sort of be tough. But he was at $10 for a pill. And I said,
what the hell happened there? What the hell happened there? They claim supposedly they were deployed to show Trump they were able to defend it from China/Russia. I don't think Trump cares at all about this stuff.
Because Daddy...
I don't think Trump gives a shit about any of that. I just think it's insane. I think that all of it is just ridiculous, and it's part of just an attempt to build bizarre freedom cities. Okay, let's listen to Macron's address.
Gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron.
Those chairs, don't like them. Now, before he speaks, I must warn you that everything Candace Owens has said about him is not confirmed as of yet. We'll have to see.
Thank you very much, Lai, for your words. Your Majesties, distinguished heads of states and governments.
It is also crazy how strong the French accent remains. Like, even in someone like Macron.
President Lagarde, ministers, ambassadors, business leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely happy to be here, and it's great to be here, as the Financial Times would say. And
listen to how badly he delivered that joke.
And it's a time of peace, stability, and predictability.
Good, he delivered that one better. Well done, Mr. Macron.
So let's try to address the key challenge of this world in a few minutes' time. But it's clear that we are reaching a time of instability of imbalances, both from the security and defense point of view and the economic point of view. Look at the situation where we are. I mean, a shift towards autocracy against democracy, more violence, more than 60 wars in 2024, an absolute record, even if I understood a few of them were fixed. And
I love how this never provokes the question of, is this a crisis that is like solvable by the liberal order, or is this a crisis of the liberal order in the world in which we currently live? And of course the answer is it is a standard crisis. These crises constantly occur because of the way in which we live our lives. His husband is abusive. Amazing. That's why he's wearing them, yeah.
And conflict has become normalized, hybrid, expanding into new domains, space, digital, information, cyber, trade, and so on. It's as well a shift towards a world without rules.
Also, by the way, really funny. A lot of people have been giving credibility to this kind of stuff, and they're like, oh my god, Macron is speaking out against all of this kind of stuff. Macron drew himself and his predecessors were operating in Libya like totally against in contravention to international law, violating weapons embargoes by acting in unison with the Haftar in Libya and just behaving in ways that were unacceptable.
Where international law is trampled underfoot, and where the only law that seems to matter is that of the strongest, and imperial ambitions are resurfacing.
And their imperial ambitions are resurfacing. Imperial ambitions never went away, by the way. People just hid them. So I guess that's actually the thing. They were always under the surface, and it's kind of implied in the way he's speaking. The imperial ambitions are resurfacing, but they were never gone. They were always under the surface, quietly and tacitly being carried out. Not so nakedly and brazenly announced as Donald Trump is willing to do it. And that is what scares them, and that is what upsets them.
Obviously, the Russian war of aggression against Ukraine, which will enter into its fourth year next month, and conflicts continue in the Middle East and across Africa. This is as well a shift toward a world without effective collective governance, and where multilateralism is weakened by powers that obstruct it or turn away from it, and rules are undermined. And I can multiply the examples of international bodies.
But you let Netanyahu use your airspace, you know? Exactly, his country is of course part of that.
Weakened or left by the key economies. And when we look at the situation, it's clearly a very concerning time, because we are killing the structure where we can fix the situation and the common challenges we have. Without collective governance, cooperation gives way to relentless competition. Competition from the United States of America through trade agreements that undermine our export interests, demand maximum concessions.
Like, by the way, under this guy, during Macron's rule, I just wanted to make sure that I got this right. So, France, in Libya, okay, what France did here was they backed Haftar, Khalifa Haftar. Their foreign minister was just announcing the craziest shit, by the way, and they backed him to go against a UN-recognized government, the government of national accord. Like, you guys tore up international law. Giving a statement, whining about it, and pretending that you're amazingly opposed to Trump now doesn't fix it.
Concessions, and openly aim to weaken and subordinate Europe, combined with an endless accumulation of new tariffs that are fundamentally unacceptable, even more so when they are used as leverage against territorial sovereignty. And competition from China, where massive excess capacities or distortive practices threaten to overwhelm entire industrial and commercial sectors. Export control has become more dangerous new tools, destabilizing global trade.
He has sunglasses on because he's got some kind of issue with his eye. It was like he had surgery, and it's like it's really, really, really bloody. And sometimes when you wear them, Especially actually here, because this is being filmed, there will be huge floodlights and spotlights, so it's most likely you can't be in intense sunlight. My friend had to wear them indoors. No, it's some kind of eye operation. Yeah, it's also definitely a French accent. And what do you put? I visited France last month, and I visited the memorial to the French Legion next to the Eiffel Tower that fought in Algeria. I got a migraine with all the apology. Of course, I mean, their treatment of Algerians is not born in the mind of French people or Europeans as a whole. It's just kind of a thing that happened and a thing that's fine.
Trade and the international system. And the answer, in order to fix this issue, is more cooperation and building new approaches. And it's clearly building more economic sovereignty and strategic autonomy, especially for the Europeans, which is for me the core answer. In this context, I want to exclude two approaches. The first approach would be to, I would say, to passively accept the law of the strongest.
But this is the entire world, right? Like, this is the entire world. We have accepted the law of the strongest. This is how our entire world was built. This is how the League of Nations was built, the United Nations, and all of these things were built. The United Nations was used to actually challenge Western power at times, but ultimately, like, if you look at the United Nations Security Council right now, and the way in which the Trump administration can undermine the International Criminal Court, the way in which it can undermine the ICJ and all of these things, you ultimately see that it is the law of the strongest, and you enable that.
Leading to vassalization and bloc politics. I think accepting a sort of new colonial approach doesn't make sense. And all the head of state and government and business leaders, which would be too complacent with such an approach, will take a huge responsibility. The second will be to adopt a purely moral posture, limiting ourselves to commentary. That path would condemn
the thing that I kind of think is more impressive about Carney, not in comparison to Macron, and the stuff he's saying is fine, whatever, it's true, but obviously Carney is someone who's complicit in that. The thing about Carney that kind of impresses me versus Keir Starmer is that Keir Starmer doesn't even have the ability to do that, to speak out. That Keir Starmer is such a pathetic weakling that he can't even ride off the back of something that's popular, because we cut ourselves out of Europe and now we don't even have any ability to stand up to any of this, you know?
To marginalization and powerlessness. Faced with the brutalization of the world, France and Europe must defend an effective multilateralism, because it serves our interests and those of all who refuse to submit to the rule of force. And for me, the two answers are, on one side, more sovereignty and more autonomy for the Europeans. On the other side, an efficient multilateralism to deliver results through cooperation.
Okay, we're going to stop him here because I don't need to listen to everything that he has to say. We're going to put on Mark Carney now. Okay, here we go.
It seems that every day we're reminded that we live in an era of great power rivalry, that the rules-based order is fading, that the strong can do what they can and the weak must suffer what they must. And this aphorism of Thucydides is presented as inevitable, as the natural logic of international relations reasserting itself. And faced with this logic, there is a strong tendency for countries to go along to get along.
The EU leaders are pathetic, and they're not doing anything to stand up to Trump. They didn't do anything to Biden to separate and stand up on Palestine. They didn't bother because they were too scared. Even if some of them held stronger positions than Biden or Trump ever did, they knew that they couldn't get out of line with their big daddy over in America, whether that was Biden or whether that was Trump. However, Carney here is riding the back of basically being able to go, okay, you know, it's popular to speak out and speak a certain way against Trump and do this and that. And Starmer's just like, no, you can never do that because I'm the world's weakest politician ever. They have 400, do you know how large the Labour election result, 2024, it's like a 400 majority. Like, I live in the UK. Does this really feel like a country where Labour has 63% of all seats, where they are almost totally dominant of the parliament? No.
To accommodate, to avoid trouble, to hope that compliance will buy safety. Well, it won't. So what are our options? In 1978, the Czech dissident Václav Havel, later president, wrote an essay called The Power of the Powerless. And in it, he asked a simple question: how did the communist system sustain itself? And his answer began with a greengrocer. Every morning, this shopkeeper places a sign in his window: "Workers of the world unite." He doesn't believe it. No one does. But he places the sign anyway to avoid trouble, to signal compliance, to get along. And because every shopkeeper on every street does the same, the system persists. Not through violence alone.
Amazing. Teaching us about communism.
But through the participation of ordinary people in rituals they privately know to be false. Havel called this living within a lie. The system's power comes not from its truth, but from everyone's willingness to perform as if it were true. And its fragility comes from the same source. When even one person stops performing, when the greengrocer removes his sign, the illusion begins to crack. Friends, it is time for companies and countries to take their signs down.
Still the head of a settler colony, by the way. Exactly, built on the same genocide.
4 decades. For decades, countries like Canada prospered under what we called the rules-based international order. We joined its institutions, we praised its principles, we benefited from its predictability. And because of that, we could pursue values-based foreign policies under its protection. We knew the story of the international rules-based order was partially false. That the strongest would
what concept?
Exempt themselves when convenient. That trade rules were enforced asymmetrically. And we knew that international law applied with varying rigor depending on the identity of the accused or the victim. This fiction was useful. An American hegemony...
It's kind of crazy to like go out here and just say, yeah, it was all fiction, like all of this stuff, but then just return to governing in exactly the same way.
In particular, help provide public goods, open sea lanes, a stable financial system, collective security, and support for frameworks for resolving disputes. So we placed the sign in the window. We participated in the rituals. And we largely avoided calling out the gaps between rhetoric and reality. This bargain no longer works. Let me be direct. We are in...
Yeah, he is just returning. He is ruling like a neolib. Exact point I meant. He will just return to doing nothing. It's a big talk. The only part that impresses me is that he has the balls to do or actually it's more just of an awe at the failure of Starmer and the failure of his government, the failure of him to just be even a semi-competent politician and drive up any support for himself, right? Like, you know?
In the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Over the past 2 decades, a series of crises in finance, health, energy, and geopolitics have laid bare the risks of extreme global inequality.
By the way, I do think in some way Gaza was a rupture, even though within the context of Palestine, it was just another part of Israel's settler colonial project, an outburst of violence that was more extreme with what came on that day and what came afterwards. Yet, simultaneously, it really did change the world. It changed how many people saw it, and it also ruined the Democratic Party It ruined them. It would have ruined. It didn't ruin the Labour Party because just how incompetent the Tories were and because we had them in for so long. But ultimately, it was a situation where so many people were turned off. So many people woke up to this just glaring reality that the world is totally unequal, that it is totally unjust. There were so many young people having their political consciences formed at that time by social media platforms who are pushed to actually have a decent understanding of Palestine. And the fact that more of them haven't tapped into this, who are like unable to do something about it, is kind of indicative of how much this system has failed already.
Integration. But more recently, great powers have begun using economic integration as weapons. Tariffs as leverage, financial infrastructure as coercion, supply chains as vulnerabilities to be exploited. You cannot live within the lie of mutual benefit through integration when integration becomes the source of your subordination. The multilateral institutions on which the middle powers have relied, the WTO, the UN, the COP, the architecture, the very architecture of collective...
God, he is so fucking boring.
...problem solving are under threat. And as a result, many countries are drawing the same conclusions, that they must develop greater strategic autonomy in energy, food, critical minerals, in finance and supply chains. And this impulse is understandable. A country that can't feed itself, fuel itself, or defend itself has few options. When the rules no longer protect you, you must protect yourself. But let's be clear-eyed about where this leads. A world of fortresses will be poorer, more fragile, and less sustainable. And there's another truth. If great powers abandon even the pretense of rules and values for the unhindered pursuit of their power and interests, the gains from transactionalism will become harder to replicate. Hegemons cannot continually monetize their relationships. Allies will diversify to hedge against uncertainty. They'll buy insurance, increase options, in order to rebuild sovereignty. Sovereignty that was once grounded in rules but will increasingly be anchored in the ability to withstand pressure. This room knows.
Someone was talking about how the UK needs to leave like the American credit system, the like credit cards, and how America has such a large role over our financial system. And they ain't wrong about that. But yeah, I think I've had enough of how boring Carney is. The start was interesting. I like how he did away with the notion that there was kind of any pretense and just kind of admitted, hey, this whole rules-based order stuff is bullshit, which is like a really obvious position for the vast majority of people and what people have harped on about Palestine for ages and the major change that is needed. But yeah, I'm probably going to end the stream there because I'm tired and I'm getting used to back to this and I want to go spend some time. So I've just got a couple of updates. So, right. And I'll actually react to the chat in a second. There's just a couple of updates. So I can't stream on Friday because I'm doing a talk in Oxford. If anyone's in the Oxford area and wants to come, the details are on my Instagram and stuff. What was I going to say as well? I also might stream on Sunday, potentially, but I will let you know about that. I'll be better than last time. I'll post on my YouTube page. Check it. I'd be live at standard times. Might not. But in the week, I think I may have to, actually, because in the week, I'm going to stream on Monday, but I won't be streaming on Tuesday or Wednesday and then Thursday as well, actually. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, because No Politics Here is being recorded tomorrow. It remains to be seen what will be. I'll keep you guys updated. Just keep watching the chat. I'm really sorry. No, we're doing the episode tomorrow is about Iran, not Greenland. That'll just be one at some point in the future. And sorry, I just want to check this. If you think the UK is decoupling from the US, you have not been paying attention. Biggest achievements are just giving us access to to US tech companies and selling data, and also letting them build data centers in the UK. I mean, it's shocking, it's awful, it's rubbish, and I don't think you're wrong. What I'm saying is that is something that needs to be done. I'm not saying it is being done. I've seen people talking about it being something that should be done. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I'll see you guys soon. I will stream on Sunday because I'm going to need to keep up with like doing a decent amount. I just kind of realized. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Speak to you soon. I'll see you later.